Their perfect start to the season with wine and what else? Cheeseheads. Week 1, Keith Jackson had a monster game as he caught 3 touchdown passes. Week 2, the bill of fare was Philadelphia cream cheese as the Packers did whatever they wanted against the Eagles. And last week, the Packers went through the Chargers defense like it was Swiss cheese. But for Mike Holmgren, visits to Minneapolis have been pretty cheesy lately as his Packers have crumbled like blue cheese. The Vikings have won the last 4 games in Minnesota, and they too come into today's game undefeated.
Yummy! North!
Welcome live to a sold-out Metrodome in Minneapolis, where this afternoon it's the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. Both teams are undefeated. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fox NFL Sunday. I'm Sam Rosen along with Ron Pitts. What's all this stuff about cheese?
Well, you got to slice it up first to find out what it is. Really, it's about one guy, Brett Favre. He's off to a great start. He's on sync. He's on cue. But bad things happen to him here at the Metrodome. Last 2 games here, he's been knocked out. The guy, believe it or not, has never thrown a touchdown pass here, Sam. Green Bay has got to run the ball for him early to let him know that he doesn't have to do it all by himself. When it's time to pass, though, they got to protect him.
The Green Bay Packers have outscored their opponents 115-26 this season. The Minnesota Vikings, who are 3-0, look at those stats, and they're not impressed.
Well, yeah, they're 3-0, and everybody says, oh, they win ugly. But you know what? They win. And right now, they think that they have Green Bay big time. But you got to look at the situation. When Green Bay comes in here, they don't do well. Minnesota's got a great running game, Robert Smith. They got big plays on the outside, Carter, and they got Jake Reed. Turnovers is going to be key. Always, always, always here. But it's what you do with the turnovers. Minnesota gets the points off the turnovers.
It's been a long time since these teams started 3-0. The Packers last time in 1982, the Vikings last time in 1975. We will be set to go with the opening kickoff right after these messages from your local Fox station.
It's all Talking Packers with Brett.
Here, lots of Packer fans have come down for this one.
Plenty of cheese. Just
Mike Holmgren, who's gotten off to a great start, he says he's pushing his team hard this year to stay focused. What he'd like to do is change his luck here in the Metrodome. Mike Holmgren and Dennis Green were assistant coaches together in San Francisco. Dennis Green 6-2 against the Packers and undefeated here. Mitch Berger, the punter, who's also the kickoff man, will kick off. The Packers will receive. It's only the 7th time the Packers have received a kickoff this season. Don Beebe has had 5 returns. Antonio Freeman 1. Dorsey Levens is back with Don Beebe, the former Buffalo Bill. Berger steps forward, and we're underway. The kick to Beebe at the 4. And he stopped at the 20-yard line. Sean Van Horst coming down to lead the coverage for the Vikings. Brett Favre brings the Packers onto the field, and he has been absolutely brilliant. You see the numbers over the last 10 games. He has 10 touchdown passes, only 1 interception this season. The offensive line, Gary Brown, the left tackle, very important man. In the backfield, Robert Brooks, the wide receiver with Antonio Freeman. William Henderson has been the lead blocker for Edgar Bennett. Favre rolling. Short pitch complete to Henderson out of the backfield. Up across the 40. Henderson was a good receiver out of the backfield. Took the short pass for a big gain.
They started off with the play action. All the action's going to go this way. Number 30, Henderson, is going to come off to the left side. Excellent play. But watch how many people he has open. He's got Chamura there, and he also has Henderson. Excellent call, opening play of the game.
Picked up 21 yards. Packers first down. Chamura is a tight end on the left side, comes in motion. Edgar Bennett, first carry of the game, finds a hole off tackle, gets to the 47-yard line. Jeff Brady, the middle linebacker, made the tackle. The Vikings defense, the numbers don't look good, but they come up with big plays. John Randall is the key man. The Packers will double team a lot. The linebackers, Jeff Brady has 3 interceptions. Dixon Edwards came over from the Dallas Cowboys. Orlando Thomas led the NFL in interceptions last season with 9 as a rookie. Second and 5 for the Packers. Favre checks off at the line. Shimura's a tight right end. Favre stumbled, throws for Brooks, overthrows it.
You know, you talk about what these teams have to do to be successful. Green Bay's got to get off to a quick start. They got to run the ball in the second half like they've been doing, and that's what I mean by run and hide. Run the ball in the second half and then hide the ball from the opposing offense. They got to get to the quarterback to slow down the West Coast tempo. That's what Minnesota has to do. Look for the blitz. Look for him to force Favre out on the scramble to his left side. That's where they think he's less effective. And like we talked about, Sam, turnovers will tell. Ball security for both teams is a must.
3 wide receivers in for Green Bay. Brooks resets in the backfield and goes in motion to the left. Quick pitch by Favre, deflected, incomplete. Good pressure from the Vikings. Harlan Barnett broke up the pass.
There was the blitz right there. We just talked about it. That's what Minnesota's got to do to put the heat on Brett Favre. That's what you got to do to put the heat on a West Coast offense. They brought Brady from the opposite side where Favre is not used to seeing that blitz, and the result was an incomplete pass.
David Palmer, who missed last week's game in Chicago with a turf toe problem, is back and healthy. He's practiced this week and ready to go. Craig Hendrick kicks it high. Great kick. Hendrick has had a good season. Palmer lets it bounce. He started away, fair catch. It goes into the end zone. Palmer started to raise his right arm, then brought it down, and it's a touchback. The Vikings go on offense for the first time. There is no score in the game after the 53-yard punt.
Sunday is brought to you by Toyota and their full line of quality cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. By Doctor's Khakis. Hey, nice pants. By Boston Market, carving out a better sandwich. And by True Value, the official hardware store of the NFL.
The Cheeseheads are out in full force to see their Packers. Warren Moon, who was injured midway through Game 1, sat out Game 2, returned last week against the Bears. Came up with a couple of big pass completions to help lead the Vikings to a 20-14 win. On first down, it's Robert Smith trying to get outside, spun around, and thrown down by Wayne Simmons and then helped out. Simmons made the play, and Smith then thrown out of bounds for a big loss. Take a look at the Vikings offense this afternoon. 39-year-old Warren Moon. His pass completion percentage not that high. He had a good game last week. Randall McDaniel, maybe the best guard in pro football. Corey Stringer, very important on the right side. Chris Carter, the all-time leading receiver for the Vikings. And Robert Smith has gotten off to a good start running the football. On second down, Ant Lee stopped at the 14-yard line. The Packers defense is second in the NFL this season. Great front four. Sean Jones and Reggie White on the outside. Gilbert Brown, Santana Dotson inside. Linebackers athletic and fast. Kuntz moved inside. Brian Williams coming on strong in preseason to win the job. Leroy Butler has 4 interceptions, tied for the NFL lead. 3rd and 15 for Minnesota. 3 wide receivers in. Moon gets time and throws. It hit Kadri Ishmael. It's intercepted. Eugene Robinson to the 20, going outside of the 15 and brought down at the 11-yard line by Warren Moon. That pass bounced off the numbers of Kadri Ishmael and is intercepted. The Packers' 10th interception of the season.
Warren Moon put that ball right on the money. It looked as though it just hit Kadri Ishmael in the chest. See here, it'll be coming right up the seam there. It's pretty good coverage, but it's a pretty good throw. Right there. He threw it on the opposite side, but good alertness by Eugene Robinson. Boy, this team can't say enough about free safety Eugene Robinson. And Warren having to get down and make the tackle. If you throw it, you got to stop it from 6. Eugene Robinson coming in, a guy who talks a lot, really being a leader back there in the secondary and coming up with a huge play when they need it. Once again, Sam, turnovers a key again.
Brooks in motion. Favre on first down being rushed, steps away, throws incomplete, intended for Shimura.
The Vikings want to make sure that Brett Favre flushes to his left, because when he rolls to his right, he's about 65%. There you see the miss right there by Derek Alexander. And whenever Favre gets that little crossover step going, he's dangerous. But that's a good job of coverage down the field, and a good job, once again, of keeping him from going to his right side. Make him work back out of the pocket to his left.
2 tight ends in for the Packers. Keith Jackson and Shimura to the right side. Favre on second down being rushed, gets it off to Edgar Bennett, and he's thrown for a loss. Fine play by Dixon Edwards, the man who came over from the Dallas Cowboys.
Fine play by Dixon Edwards. Right here, number 59. He's going to snip out the screen. Green Bay runs the screen better than anybody in the league right now. He's the only guy that sees it, and the key is getting penetration. See, he beats Winters right there. If Winters could have got a block on him, they had another one that could have had some success. But the key was seeing it, recognition, and beating the first blocker.
It's 3rd and 12 for Green Bay. Again, double tight end to the right, 2 wide receivers left. Edgar Bennett, the lone setback. Favre looking left, throwing for Brooks, and he's got it. Touchdown! Brett Favre throws his first touchdown pass in the Metrodome, and Robert Brooks tries to leap into the stands to find the Cheesehead fans.
Boy, he just ate Corey Fuller up. He took him to the corner, and Green Bay likes to run some picks down on this side of the field. It's going to be, all the action's going to be over here on the left. Robert runs inside a little bit, then he goes right to the outside, and a perfect pass. Actually, pretty good coverage, Sam. Just a perfect pass. That's all Brett Favre right there. The coverage was there in the corner of the end zone.
Chris Jackie puts through the extra point, and the Green Bay Packers once again turn the ball over, take advantage of the turnover, and take the lead early. Hendricks setting up to kick off. He too, the punter, who has kickoff duties. Strong leg. Packers in 3 plays after the turnover, the interception by Eugene Robinson, go in for the score. The kick is to Qadri Ismail at the 5. Across the 20, flag flies. He's down around the 27-yard line. We'll check out the flag on the play. Roderick Mullen in on the stop for Green Bay. And a holding call against Minnesota.
Let's go back to the touchdown. Now, here's Corey Fuller here. Cardinal sin by defensive back in man-to-man coverage. Watch what happens. He bites on the in fake. Stop it right there. He's gone. He's took. It's over. You take that step like that inside, and it's done. And people say, well, it's just a step. He can recover. But look at the distance that was between him and the ball when he finally caught it. I mean, this is a great pass. You can't take that away from him. But that little jab step that Corey Fuller took, that was a difference. All he needed was about a half step, and he would have made that play. And we talked about the points off over turnovers and the turnovers and how they've been a big factor in this game. Well, there we see it right there. And that's what Green Bay has been doing to teams. Not only are they getting the turnovers, or +8, number 1 in the NFL, but they've been scoring off the turnovers. They've been making something out of it.
Vikings from their own 17. Robert Smith finds a hole, gets across the 20. Brian Williams in on the tackle on Robert Smith, the 4th-year man out of Ohio State, who's gotten off to a good start. He's a little bit heavier, but he's stronger. Last week rushed for 81 yards, then had to come out of the game in the 4th quarter because of leg cramps. Got 113 yards in the first game against Detroit. 2nd and 5, up at the 22. 2 wide receivers left. Moon sends everybody out and throws for Jake Reed, incomplete. Hit by Doug Evans on the play. Right now it's time for a McDonald's game break. For that, let's return to James Brown at our television center.
Sam and Ron, Terry Bradshaw picked the Panthers to upset the 49ers. It might be. Look at Steve Bertline, 19-yarder to Wesley Walls, capping a 9-play, 80-yard drive. Panthers on top by a touch. Back to Minnesota, Sam Rosen and Ron Vince.
Great job by Berline stepping in for the injured Kerry Collins.
Yeah, but you know, you can't think of Carolina as an expansion team. They got an awful lot of help in the draft and free agency. They're not like the 76 Buccaneers or the Seahawks. They got some people.
3rd and 5. Moon short drop over the middle, incomplete. Doug Evans got the hand on it, intended for Chris Carter.
The Vikings' idea coming into this game was to run the football because they have had so much success with Robert Smith. And to do that, they were going to loosen up Green Bay's front four and then come back with the pass because they wouldn't have the pass rush. But like we talked about, Green Bay scores quick off a turnover, and then they get people out of their game plan. Minnesota is approaching that area where they got to get out of their game plan and start passing. We may not see the run much anymore.
Desmond Howard, picked up as a free agent, is back. Waiting on Mitch Berger's punt. Berger's second of the game. Gets it away. Not too high. Howard comes up and takes it at the 43. Avoids one man. Gets up to the 48-yard line. Once again, it's good field position for the Green Bay Packers, who have a 7-0 lead and go on offense when we come back. Game should be a very big game and very important one for the Cowboys.
Yeah, well, it's a big game for both people, but really the Cowboys, they need to get a win right now. And just winning in Dallas isn't good enough. You got to win good, and you got to look good winning. And when you lost a few, then things really get ugly.
35-yard punt for Berger. This is Keith Jackson in motion. Handoff to Edgar Bennett. Dances inside across midfield into Viking territory. Good pickup for Edgar Bennett.
I thought it's funny what Mike Holmgren told us last night. He said, people think I'm this pass monger and I never like to run the ball. And I kind of believe him halfway. I think the run in this offense, this West Coast offense, is designed to do one thing, to soften you up, to get you thinking that you have to have an urgency to stop it, because what they really want to do is pass the football, bottom line.
2nd and 4, 3 wide receivers in for the Packers. And in motion is Dorsey Levens. Quick pitch to Brooks. Juggled it. Intercepted.
He's gone.
Robert Griffin is
Brooks
going.
Get him.
Brooks chasing him down.
He's going to strip
and
it.
And he popped the ball loose.
They're talking about how they're going to rule that.
Griffith was heading for the end zone. Robert Brooks caught up.
Ball was fumbled forward out of the end zone. Results in a touchback. First down.
This is the quick wide receiver screen. Watch the hit here. He never really gets it clean. Okay, so now Griffith is off. He never really gets the ball. You see, he bobbled it there, but this is what you want to do chasing somebody. He's not aware of the ball at all. All he can see is that purple end zone.
What a
great
play.
Awareness by Robert Brooks.
Huge
that little
play.
bobble right there cost Griffith, but look at this. He waits, and punches right there. They practice that every single day in training camp. He never gives up on the play, and that's the most opportunistic time to make a play.
So instead of a Vikings touchdown or deep in Packers territory, Packers have it at the 20-yard line. Alert heads-up play by Robert Brooks. Bennett takes the handoff, but gets nothing. Good play by the Vikings front. Dixon Edwards came up. Esra Tuaolo, the left tackle, with a strong play on the inside. Tuaolo, number 98, 60-year man out of Oregon State. Originally drafted by the Green Bay Packers. Started 16 games for Green Bay in 1991.
Yeah, and Ezra has to play better at that nose tackle position. Remember whose place he's taking. He's taking Hank Thomas's place. And when Hank Thomas was there, you had to double team him, and that left John Randall free. Now people can double team John Randall.
Quick pass to Antonio Freeman.
Another fumble.
The football. It's loose. Vikings have it. Orlando Thomas knocked it loose. recover the football. Thomas on the recovery. Now the Vikings have the ball in Packers territory.
You know, this is just what happens up here in Minnesota. Strange things go on. Freeman catches a nice slant route. Very nicely done. They've done it a million times. But you know, once the ball is caught, the play is not over. Watch Fuller right there. I don't know if Freeman actually ever tucked it away. I saw Fuller come down. Yeah, Fuller got him. Fuller got him with the rip. Ball awareness. That's one thing people all around the league will tell you about the Vikings. They are ball hawks. They're opportunistic, an opportunistic defense.
And they have been for the last several years.
Yeah, like since they've been in the NFL.
Moon with the quick throw to the tight end, Andrew Jordan. He's brought down at the 37-yard line. Packers with a 7-0 lead. Now it's the Vikings forcing turnovers.
You know, you talk about how the game goes here. Minnesota gets the ball there. Guys running down for a touchdown. Next thing you know, he gets stripped. Now Green Bay has the ball. A play later, they get stripped.
On 2nd and 8, with Smith the lone setback. Jordan the tight end in motion. It's Robert Smith trying to get outside. He does. Inside the 30. Knocked down to the 27-yard line. Leroy Butler and Doug Evans in on the stop. Good run by Robert Smith.
Yeah, that's a good run by Smith, but it all starts with the block from number 89, Jordan. Andrew Jordan right there. Look at that. He takes Eugene Robinson completely out of the play. That's the difference. Eugene Robinson coming up, making it an 8-man front to stop that run, but you get a hat on him. And that man right there has really helped this team out a lot so far. He's healthy. If he can stay healthy, that gives the Vikings something they didn't have all last year, a solid, consistent running game.
Picked up 11 on the play. Smith again. Whoa, man, he ran into his own man. Charles Evans, the lead blocker, bounced off.
Did you see Brian Williams? Brian Williams makes the play, the linebacker number 51. Right here, watch this hit. He's going to take on the fullback. There it is. Look at it, he stuffs him back into Smith. That is an outstanding football play. You talk about guys, here he is right here. Oh, I love this angle. This is helmet to helmet. This is tough guy wins. I'll take you on. He knocks him back 2 yards. You can't win like that. And Robert Smith makes something out of it. That's just great athletic ability.
Wound up with a yard pickup, 2nd and 9. Moon sending everybody out. Throwing, completes to Jake Reed. Touchdown! When Warren Moon gets time, he's as dangerous as any quarterback in football.
It was all about time, Sam, just like you said. Warren Moon is injured. He's got the hurt ankles. He wears the orthotics. We've been through it. We know about it. But when he's got the time, he can get paid. Nice jam there. Could have held him a little bit longer. But see, Eugene Robinson is in a sweat. Doug Evans doesn't hold Jake Reed off far enough. They had a cover 2 on the safeties are deep. He's got to get back and help Eugene Robinson.
Scott Sisson makes the extra point. Jake Reed with his 2nd touchdown of the season. He had 9 last season. The Vikings have come back to tie this game. 7-7 with 6 minutes to go in the first. The turnover into 7 points. The Vikings have matched it. After the fumble recovery by Orlando Thomas, they marched in 39 yards. Warren Moon hitting Jake Reed for the touchdown. Don Beebe and Dorsey Levens deep for the Packers. Mitch Berger to kick off. And this one's going deep. Beebe, 3 yards in, brings it out. Nice move by Beebe across the 30. And Berger takes him down. A flag goes down. The kicker, Mitch Berger, had to bring down Don Beebe after a good return, but holding against the Packers will bring it back.
You know, looking at the touchdown, first of all, it all starts with protection. Watch the job that 77 Corey Stringer does on the All-Pro Reggie White. But watch this. See that there? Eugene Robinson took a step in this way. Why? Because Warren Moon looked him off in this direction and he threw back. Perfect touch by Warren Moon, but it all started with the veteran quarterback and the look-off. He looked Eugene Robinson off in the middle of the field like he's going to throw there. He got him out of position. and then Jake Reed took it to the corner.
How about the protection on the offensive line?
Corey Stringer, you talk about a big man. That's a condominium with legs, no doubt. He is huge. He's got those big arms. And what did Reggie White say to us last night? He said, Corey Stringer is getting better every single time I play against him. I don't know what he's going to do to me this time, but he's getting better, and he held him out.
Beebe had a great return across the 30. Now the Packers start from their own 12. Favre on first down. He hits Shimura across the 20 up to the 23-yard line.
Yeah, it goes back to what I say. Mike Holmgren can talk about the run and being patient with the run, but when he feels pressed, he's going back to security blanket, and the blanket is the pass. Watch the hit on Favre. You're trying to take care. They got the double team on Randall, 93. You have to get the quarterback's uniform dirty in the first half. You have to put hits on him. If you don't do that, you are not doing your job. This game is about getting hits on the quarterback in the pass.
Favre, a pump and go, looking for Robert Brooks, too long.
One thing Green Bay says about Minnesota's corners, they're aggressive, but they're reckless. They tried to double dip Corey Fuller that time. They know he drives the out pattern very aggressively, so they tried to take him up top. Watch it, here it is. Brooks is going to go to the out. He's going to try to sell the out. Fuller gets his eyes back on him just in time. Fuller, if you notice, was looking at the quarterback. That is what you don't want to do. But he brought his vision back to Brooks in the nick of time so he could recover on the double move.
2nd and 10 for Green Bay. Edgar Bennett follows William Henderson, gets outside. Looks like he may have gotten enough for a first down up to the 34-yard line.
It shouldn't be this easy to get around the corner. There's a breakdown for the Vikings there. Watch Talley, number 55. He gets influenced in the down block, and there's Henderson. He gets him on the cut block. That's going to be one of the challenges of this defense. That's Foge Fazio, the defensive coordinator, and you can see he knows. He's right. It shouldn't be that easy. They shouldn't be able to turn the corner on your outside linebacker like that.
In his first year as defensive coordinator, he took over from Tony Dungy, who went to Tampa Bay to be the head coach. Bennett inside for a couple of tough yards. Jeff Brady, number 50, the middle linebacker, in on the stop. Edgar Bennett, through his early years in the NFL, has been averaging 3.5 yards per carry. This year, it's 5.1.
5.1. You can win with 5.1 a carry. I mean, you're talking about 2nd and 5, 2nd and 4, that kind of stuff. Offensive coordinators are in heaven when they look at those kind of down and distances. And in this offense, it's easy to put yourself in that position with the multiple formations, the amount of passing that they do.
2nd and 8, Shimura goes in motion. Bennett inside. Brady got him right away. A couple of yards on the play. Jeff Brady's quite a story. This is his 5th team in 6 years. He spent a year with the Green Bay Packers, originally drafted by Pittsburgh as an outside linebacker. Tony Dungy moved him inside last year.
Yeah, Tony Dungy said, I think you're tough enough to play inside. You may not be big enough and you may be a little short, but I like the fact that you get to the ball. You're a body on the ball. And don't forget, with Ed McDaniel hurt and out, they need somebody to get to that football in the front 7.
3rd and 6, 4 wideouts in for Green Bay. He's audible at the line by Favre.
He saw Brady right there and he tried to check out of it.
They pick it up. No, he's down. They got him from the outside. There's a flag down on the play. The Vikings brought a lot of people. Derek Alexander celebrating.
It all started with Jeff Brady coming inside with the blitz.
On the play, it was not holding. Sack, brings up 4th down.
Ed Hockley says no foul, no holding.
I want you to watch what happens when this man walks up into here. Watch what Brett Favre does. And that's to his right side. They don't want that. They want Brett to be able to go to his right side. But now the heat comes from the backside. Boy, it's like a good war game. You know, you attack the enemy in one side and then you sneak somebody back from the back door. And that's exactly what they did. Foge Fazio pulling a little something out of his hat to go along with Fritz Sherman on the other side of the field.
Dave Palmer deep. Greg Hendricks punt to Palmer at the 24. Packers have it covered. Got a couple of yards on the return. Bernardo Harris in on the tackle for the Packers special teams. This week on Fox Saturday Baseball, Ken Caminiti and the San Diego Padres battle Mike Piazza and the LA Dodgers, plus other key pennant race matchups. It all begins at 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 Central, or 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. Check your local listings. Dodgers won big yesterday. They've got a game-and-a-half lead on the Padres. Padres trying to hold off Montreal for the wild card.
Well, I live in LA, but you know how I feel about those Yankees.
Yeah, you like the Yankees.
Yeah, well, okay, there it is.
Well, how about a Yankee-Dodgers World Series?
That'll work.
44-yard punt for the Packers. Craig Hendrick. This is Robert Smith carrying, and he ran into Sean Jones.
Whenever you get penetration, you can stop the run play. That time, they did an excellent job of moving Randall McDaniel, the All-Pro, back. I mean, he was on roller skates trying to come around the corner and lead block. That doesn't work very well. And they think Sean Jones is a guy they can run after. They think he's weak at the point of attack. They say he's pretty good on the pass rush. He's a long strider, but when it comes to stopping the run, they think they have something. But I don't think anybody told Sean that.
No gain on the play. Under 2 minutes remaining. Warren Moon calls time. Saw something he didn't like.
That's their first
George
charge,
Kuntz.
team timeout.
Anytime a quarterback feels pressure, people walking around in what they call the A gaps, right on the left and right side of the center, that bothers them more than anything because that affects their clear vision down the middle of the field for the easiest throw. And a lot of times, quarterbacks can't see. That's why you got to have a big, strong guy in there so he can see overall the artillery and the stuff that's coming in there from the blitzing.
This game is presented by authority of the National Football League, is intended for the private use of our audience, and the rebroadcast or the use of this telecast without the expressed written consent of the Minnesota Vikings and the National Football League is prohibited.
Wayne Simmons, boy, he's fired up.
Packers defense, one big difference in the Packers defense this year, which is obvious, is turning the ball over. Last year they had 16 takeaways all season. This year they have 13 already.
And another difference in this defense, along with that man Santana Dotson coming up from Tampa Bay, is speed. They're better in the middle of the field with the tackles, but they're faster in the linebacker position.
2nd and 10. Moon stumbles, swings it out to Robert Smith with some room across the 30. Knocked out of bounds by Craig Newsome.
We talk about the matchup and what's going to happen for Warren to have time. Right here. Here it is. Stringer versus Reggie White. Now, he's over Andrew Jordan, the tight end. But the key for Stringer is he's got to keep his weight inside. Reggie comes with the rip move. That's no problem. But you see at the last minute, he tried to pull it out and club him. He clubbed Stringer last year, and he embarrassed him. Stringer knows now that he cannot wait too much on the inside or too much on the outside. He's got to stay on the inside and make Reggie come around the corner.
It's 3rd and 5. Moon under pressure, knocked down. Craig Newsome got the left arm in. Pass intended for Jake Reed.
They got a flag.
It's against Minnesota.
This is the club move I'm talking about. Watch Corey Stringer's weight. He's really weighted to the outside. You see it there? It's nice to weigh 332 pounds, but boy, if you get 332 pounds on the wrong side, he can be your worst enemy.
332? I saw him at 339.
By the offense, number 73. The penalty is declined. It brings up 4th down.
Okay, well, he had a Met Rex and he dropped a couple pounds.
Todd Stussy called for the penalty, which is declined, and the Vikings forced a punt. 2nd punt of the game for Mitch Berger. First one was 35 yards with a short return by Desmond Howard, the former Heisman Trophy winner in 1991. Played 3 years with Washington, last year with Jacksonville. Berger, good rush, gets it way, way up there. Howard waits for a fair catch, takes it on the 30-yard line. Good kick by Berger. That's what the Vikings want. No returns. Minute 14 remaining in the first quarter, and the game tied at 7.
You want to talk about rough duty? Here's what it's like to be the outside man, the gunner they call it on punts. Here's what happens to you. His job is to get downfield and make the tackle. That's Mo Williams working on, Mo Williams being worked on prior there. You know, one side a guy gets off, and then here's the other side. He's got his problems too. Sean Van Horst. It looks fun, but don't believe it. I've been out there.
Oh, yeah?
And those guys don't just hit you. They call you all kind of names while they're hitting you, too.
Screen to Bennett, and he's hit. He bounces off. Oh, good strength by Edgar Bennett. That could have been tackled for no gain. He turned it into a 9-yard pickup.
Dixon Edwards is using some of that experience coming from Dallas to make the big play. There he is right there. Once again, he sniffs out the screen before anybody else. And he does what he has to do. He penetrates and gets to the ball carrier. But he doesn't wrap up. Actually, he wrapped up. That's just a great move by Edgar Bennett. And you know, Edgar Bennett is lighter this year. He's about 10 pounds lighter. He looks like a stick man when you see him walking through the hotel. But I think that might be the difference right there. He's more agile, and he can get out of things that he couldn't get out of last year.
Bennett on 2nd and 2 gets close to a first down. That reception by Edgar Bennett for the 8-yard pickup gives him at least one pass reception in 52 consecutive games. So he's not only a good running back, he's good out of the backfield.
When I look at Edgar Bennett, I'm sorry, but I see Roger Craig in this offense, because that's what he is. He's a guy that can run the ball tough, but when it comes time to catch, he can catch the ball out of the backfield and make things happen.
End of the first quarter. Packers scored first after a turnover. The Vikings answered back after a turnover. 7-7, end of the first. Metrodome, the type of game we expected. Turnovers have been a factor, and it's been close between 2 3-0 teams.
Yeah, and that's the way things always work here. You know, people want to know, why is it so tough for Green Bay up here? The turnovers have a lot to do with it. And this is what I think has been a key play here so far. Here's a touchdown. Once again, we talked about what happened to Corey Fuller, the corner. He took the fake inside. He had help inside. Really no reason for him to go in there. But that one little step makes the difference up right there.
3rd and inches for the Packers. Henderson dives. Oh, that's going to be close. He didn't get much.
From this angle, it doesn't look like he got it.
Great job by the Vikings. They went to the fullback, the up man, in the I formation. And they'll bring the chains out to measure.
You know, the thing about when you get a short yardage play like this that I think is really crazy is that the referee, all he can do is guess where that ball actually stopped, where the momentum stopped. You know, he's just going to take his best guess, and you could get the bad end of that stick. He could be a few inches off.
Well, the Vikings like it. He's still about 6 inches short.
Henderson had to get on the other side of that line to get the first down. And in this situation, the low man always wins. You see a lot of purple shirts over the top. No, I think that's good. He didn't get nowhere. He got nowhere near that line.
Good work on the inside by the Minnesota Vikings. Brings Craig Hendrick into the game. David Palmer is deep. Hendrick, who got pressure before, gets none here. A good punt. Palmer waits for a fair catch and has got it at the 10-yard line. Excellent punt by Craig Hendrick. Sends the Vikings deep, and they'll go on offense with the game tied at 7.
Is brought to you by the reliable all-new Mirage sedan from Mitsubishi, built for living. By Radio Shack, you've got questions, we've got answers. By Aflac, insuring over 40 million people worldwide. And by McDonald's, official break of the NFL.
Ambrose and Ron Pitts back at the Metrodome, where the Vikings go on offense deep in their own territory. 3 wide receivers in for Minnesota. No changes on defense for the Packers. Moon with pressure, throws out and completes to Chris Carter. And he's brought down across the 15. Time for McDonald's game break. For that, let's go back to our studios to JB.
Hey, Sam, Howie Long said the Panthers will be better with Steve Berline at the helm. Indeed he is. 2 touchdown strikes today to that guy, Wesley Walls. No fear Panthers, 17-0 over the 49ers. Sam Rosen, Ron Pitts.
Thanks, JB. Great pickup out of New Orleans as a free agent, Wesley Walls, the tight end.
He gives them a dimension they didn't have last year with Pete Metzelaars. They can now work the vertical part of the field. They can work inside.
2nd and 4 for Minnesota. Evans in motion. Smith carry.
Oh, nice play, Simmons. There it is. There's the blitz. That's we talked about the speed of this defense. That's the difference. They're faster than they were last year. Simmons right here, the outside linebacker. You know, sometimes you get a quick read. Sometimes you guess and you're wrong. But he sees the outside block by Stussy and takes that gap and makes the play. And now look at the rest of the cheeseheads coming on the tackle.
Simmons, the Packers' first-round draft pick in 1993 out of Clemson. They've been outstanding, but a lot of that is because they got the big lead, forcing teams to pass. 3rd and 7. And they run.
Now this has been a problem here with Warren Moon. Too much time.
Delay of game by the offense. 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
It happened to him last week. It happened to him in the Detroit game. That's the 6th delay of game penalty. That's the most in the NFL. And, you know, talking to Denny about it, he says, hey, Warren is an experienced quarterback. Warren is a real cerebral guy. He likes to look at things. We saw the way he looked off Eugene Robinson. He likes to look over things, but a lot of times he'll take too much time doing that.
So now it's 3rd and 12, 3 wide receivers in. Packers showing blitz. Moon gets time and completes to Jake Reed again. The big playmaker. Reed gets a first down up at the 24-yard line.
That's why you have to live with Warren Moon getting an occasional delay of game, because he's going to look over everything and make the right decision, and that's what he does. Reed's just going to come down on a little square in route. It's man-to-man coverage by Evans, but you know the problem starts right here. I'm sorry, that's not Evans. That's Tyrone Williams, the rookie. It's not a sin to get a ball caught on you in NFL, but it is a sin to not wrap up and make the tackle. Williams has got to chase him down and make the tackle.
16-yard pickup on 1st down. Moon swings out to Robert Smith. One, and then Newsom got him along with Eugene Robinson.
Brian Williams just got juiced by Robert Smith. I tell you what, I like Robert Smith's ability to cut full speed. He can make cuts and still regain his momentum. Now there's Williams right there. He's going to get in a one-on-one situation with Robert Smith. This is how Fritz Shermer draws it up. Perfect. Come up, make the tackle. Look at that. Whoa. Brian Williams' jock is down there somewhere. About the 22-yard line.
On 2nd and 7, Smith goes inside. Reggie White gets him up to the 30-yard line. You won't hear Reggie White's name called too much on tackles on plays like that, because usually teams are running away from Reggie.
Yeah, and when we talked to Reggie about that last night, he said that frustrates me big time when teams run away from me. It got to the point last year where he almost felt himself not hustling 100%. Now that time, it ends up coming back to him, but teams aren't going to go at Reggie, and that's what makes him a great player. As you look at Fritz Sherman, the defensive coordinator there, he's great in the pass rush, but when it comes to the run, he can stop it.
Let's see here. Timeout is called by the Packers. They have some confusion on defense. 10:32 to go, first half, with the game tied at 7. Slow to play college football, but he never stopped believing in himself. Don't miss this inspiring true story about a young man who beat the odds and lived his dream of playing for Notre Dame. Rudy, tonight at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on Fox. They never said that about Ron Pitts.
Of course not.
3rd and 5 for Minnesota. Everybody out, pressure from the outside, going for Carter off his fingertips. Big hit by Wayne Simmons on Warren Moon.
They were stretching on that one, and Fritz Shermer did something very smart. He brought a little heat on Warren Moon to speed up the process. Top part of your screen right here. There it is. All that does, yeah, he got it off, but that makes Warren get that ball off about a click early. Fritz Shermer there, defensive coordinator of the Green Bay Packers. Boy, what a job he did last year in that playoff game against San Francisco.
Mitch Berger's third punt of the game. Good high kick. Sends Desmond Howard backpedaling to the 14. Looking for a block. Howard across the 20 and brought down by Harlan Barnett at the 22-yard line.
You know, we talked about Van Horst. Sean Van Horst, right, number 37, being the flyer, and how he got beat around last time. Well, this time isn't much better. Look what this poor guy has to go through. I mean, not only do they knock him down, they jump on him, they keep harassing him.
That's 2 against 1. Can they do that?
If I were him after the game, I would go to the police department and file. I would file a complaint, a civil suit.
Sean Van Horst out of Howard University. Originally came over from Detroit as an unrestricted free agent. This is his 7th year. 57-yard punt for Mitch Berger. Packers on offense. Game tied 7-7. Carr fakes the handoff, fires hard, gets a couple of yards up to the 30-yard line.
Down.
Robert Brooks. But a flag in the backfield. It's against Minnesota. Illegal use of the hands. Coach Fazio, the defensive coordinator, looking things over. And here's Ed Hocula.
Illegal hands to the face by the defense, number 90. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Derek Alexander, the man.
There he is. There's Derek Alexander. Watch his first move. There it is. He's got, yeah, that's a good call. He's got Aaron Taylor's neck pushed back all the way to his back number.
Derek Alexander, second-year man out of Florida State. First-round draft pick last year. First down for the Packers. Across the 27-yard line. Pretty close. Each man with a touchdown pass. Each man has thrown an interception. And the play is whistled dead before it gets going. And we'll see what the call is here. Hey, nice outfit, huh?
First down. That was no play on that. The official blew the whistle. First down.
Oh, okay.
I guess they just wanted to blow the whistle. They just felt like stopping it.
Look at this. I got to tell you, it's pretty warm outside. He's getting some noise here. He just came back from hunting north of here. Chamorro in motion. On first down, Favre still has it. Over the middle of Chamorro. He dropped it after the hit by Dixon Edwards. The pass was there.
Here they go. This is a good old Central Division mix-up here.
Hey, both teams say it. This is Central Division rivalry. We don't like each other.
The time my father played with the Packers, the time I played with the Packers till now, there has never been any kind of love lost between the two teams. Don't expect Christmas cards to be sent back and forth during the holidays.
Personal foul called against Green Bay. There's Dixon Edwards. He's got a personal winning streak of 8 straight, dating back to last season with the Cowboys, who went on to win the Super Bowl, and then the first 3 wins this season.
Wonder what his streak is for not shaving.
Personal foul by the offense, number 52. Continuing action foul. The down counts. The 15-yard penalty and a second down.
That's huge, okay? That's not just a 5er. That's a 15er.
And a loss of down.
That's Frank Winters. Frank Winters, an old vet, been in the league 10 years. New Jersey kid. Now he's hard. He's a hard customer. And you look at Minnesota. See, they are great talkers in this game. Whenever they get against Green Bay, they love to talk it up. Like I said in the beginning, they know how to get to the Green Bay Packers, and they do it every year up here.
This is strange for Green Bay this season to be tied with 9:28 remaining in the first half.
Yeah, but one thing I know Mike Holmgren won't stand for is for his quarterback, his team, to lose composure. He prides himself on that. That's the 49er way.
Is
to play within yourself.
Measured by the officials. It was a half the distance to the goal foul. It is second down.
The official's a little flustered. It's half the distance to the goal. On the penalty.
I expect this crowd now, especially in that end zone, to get in it.
It's 2nd and 23. Favre under pressure. Across the 20, trying to get to the sideline.
Wow.
Oh, great run by Favre.
Wow. What a play.
Look at the speed of
What a
Brett
play.
Favre.
That is what you call an impact guy. People want to know, what is an impact player? An impact player can take the game, take the ball, and single-handedly turn things around, make things happen. Once again, we talked about not letting Favre to his right. He comes to his left. He doesn't like to throw that way. And now look at this. And they say Brett Favre doesn't run well. Well, you're going to have to convince me of that because he just outran everybody. And look at the blocking here. Well, that's Antonio Freeman working on Dwayne Washington. That's what it's about.
Dixon Edwards finally tripped him up, but it's a first down as Favre picked up 23 on the play. Shimura the motion man, Bennett the ball carrier. Got about a yard. Vikings have been tough in the middle.
The longer this game goes, knotted up like this, I think it's to Minnesota's advantage. Why? Because Green Bay has been taking off, getting out in front of people, scoring fast, getting people out of their game plan. The defense doesn't even get on the field a lot in the second half. Then all they do is run the ball, game's over, we'll see you next week. It's like a championship fight when one guy's been used to knocking out people in 3-4 seconds. All of a sudden now he's got to go the full 10 rounds, 12 rounds. Let's see what happens now.
Packers bring in 4 wide receivers on 2nd and 9. Favre looking to go deep, and he does. Way up there for Desmond Howard. He's out of bounds.
They got a flag, but boy, Brett Favre let it fly. And is he hurt or is he just resting?
It's going to be against the Packers.
Boy, he let that one fly. You look at Brett, you don't think he can throw very far. You think he's just a touch guy within the framework of that West Coast. But he can let it go, especially pointing to his right side. Denny Green, I think he was almost comical the other day. Said, Denny, is there something, are there ghosts in this building? Why can Green Bay not play well? He said, listen.
Tripping by the offense, number 68. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Gary Brown, the left tackle, the man who called on the tripping penalty.
Gary Brown, there he is right there. He sees himself get beat, and then he puts his leg out. I like that. Hey, he's not going to get Brett Favre killed. Watch this. Bloop. All right, you beat me. Bloop. That's what you call taking care of your quarterback. Anyway, going back to what I was saying about Denny, he said, listen, when you only have 173 yards total offense like last year, I think there's a lot of drama flying around. I think there's some baloney. I think it's got more to do with the way we play here. We just get after the Green Bay Packers.
Favre completes to Desmond Howard. It was a 2nd and 19.
Boy, Desmond Howard, here's a guy that has got to be on his last chance. Former Heisman Trophy winner out of Michigan. He's been a lot of places. There he is right there. And he just not, for some reason, been able to make it work. He makes it work here, gets a nice catch. But I asked Mike Holmgren, why did you bring him here? I mean, here's a guy that hasn't done anything yet. Everybody's down on him. He said, well, we like some of the things he did when he worked out for us, and we believe that a change of scenery is good for a guy.
Packers want to talk things over. 7:42 remaining. First half. Green Bay and Minnesota tied at 7. Aflac trivia question. What Fox NFL announcer was born at halftime of a Green Bay, Minnesota game? You know the answer to that, Ron?
I have no idea.
3rd and 8. Green Bay 1 for 4 on 3rd down. Big hit on Robert Brooks.
Wow.
It's an incomplete pass. Dwayne Washington with a big hit. And that Viking loved it.
I asked Brooks about how do you feel going inside on those slant routes. He said, hey, that's blue collar time. I got to come in with it. But you got to give the credit to Dwayne Washington. Like I said, it's not a sin to get a ball caught on you in the NFL, but you can always break it up and make a play afterwards. He times it perfectly, breaks it up.
Greg Hendrick back for his 4th punt of the game. He only had 8 in the first 3 games. Kick coming back to David Palmer at the 20. Avoids a couple of men, hops over another, and is finally brought down by Mike Pryor at the 35-yard line. Good return by David Palmer, 15 yards, and the Vikings go on offense after the 40-yard punt with the game tied 7-7. Back to the Metrodome in a moment.
In case you didn't know, this is a classic Green Bay Packer fan. This lady must have the strongest earlobes this side of the Mississippi. That's unbelievable. And the lady next to her, too.
Walking Christmas trees. The cheeseheads are here in full force. Meanwhile, the Packers having difficulty with the Vikings. It's been a tough struggle. From the 35, Robert Smith dances through the middle and gets about 3 on the pickup. George Kuntz, the middle linebacker, with the tackle. All right, time for the answer to our Aflac trivia question. What Fox NFL announcer was born at halftime of a Green Bay, Minnesota game? It's our own Ron Pitts. Halftime of the Minnesota Green Bay game, October 14th, 1962. And the Packers won that game 48-21. And your dad scored 2 touchdowns.
All I can remember, this is nice to have that much hair.
Did Mom get the game ball?
Yeah, I think she did.
All right. Robert Smith on 2nd down. Not much that time. They tried the middle. Basically, they talked about trying to run outside. Here, they're testing the middle. That's a tough job with big Gilbert Brown.
Yeah, but you have to, okay? And we talked to Mike Holmgren about this last night. We talked to Denny Green about it. You have to let the defense know that you're not just going to step back and try to throw the football. And if you can beat the best, and Green Bay is best on their front 4, then the theory is you can beat the rest. So they have to try and show them that they can be effective running the ball.
3rd and 6 for the Vikings. Amp Lee, the lone setback. 3 wideouts. Moon throwing, and it's knocked away by Doug Evans. He's had a strong game. Chris Carter, the intended receiver. Doug Evans with good coverage.
Warren had no place to go with that ball. I was surprised even through that. Doug Evans was right in Chris Carter's hip pocket. Right here, Chris Carter's just going to come on a little out route. Watch the way Doug Evans glues to his inside hip. Right there, he got a little bit of cloth. You see that incidental contact there? He grabbed his arm. As long as Doug Evans is looking at the quarterback, the rules say you can have that contact. That's just good football.
Mitch Berger to punt. Desmond Howard deep. Good kick by Berger. Howard from the 9. All Vikings around him. Nowhere to go but out of bounds. Good kick by Mitch Berger. 52-yard punt. 5-yard return for Desmond Howard. Gets a pat on the back from Orlando Thomas.
Yeah, it's funny. The second quarter for Mike Holmgren's team has always been a good quarter. They've been able to go down and really kind of start to put the nail into the coffin. You look at what they do in the second quarter. They've scored 48 points, not counting today, and the opponents have only scored 10. This is when they get you down, but things are different today. That's why they talk about Minnesota. That's why it's different here. They're in a 7
24/7 fight, a battle.
These two coaches worked up in the same booth along with George Seifert out in San Francisco. We asked them.
They wouldn't talk
who did
about
what. No,
Yeah, who made the call? Well, yeah, Denny said, we don't talk about that.
That's right.
Oh, we don't? Okay, Denny, we don't talk about that.
Favre with a pump being rushed, swarmed under. Ball popped loose. Vikings have it.
There it is.
Big turnover. Minnesota ball at the 4. Jeff Brady with a fumble recovery.
Sealing off Brett Favre's right side, bringing the pressure from the opposite side. Watch, there's Brady right there in the middle. He's in Brett Favre's face. He's got Favre worried. But you look at John Randall, a mix-up in the blocking scheme. They pick him up, but the heat is too intense from the outside. They're starting to get the good play from Derek Alexander, the defensive end. They hadn't been getting that. See, here it is. Now, there's Randall right there. Aaron Taylor just standing there. He doesn't block anybody. And there's no way you can pick up John Randall with a fullback. And now, looks like Beavis and Butthead out there. I mean, it's drama.
What a season Jeff Brady is having. And now the Vikings with a chance to grab the lead. The Packers have not trailed this season. Quarterback sneak.
Tight end move.
Go down.
Tight end move
go down.
They're going to get Andrew Jordan.
How about that surprise call? Moon sneaking up the middle.
Before the ball was snapped, false start by the offense, number 89.
Andrew
5-yard
Jordan.
penalty. Remains first down.
Andrew Jordan right over here. He's just going to pick up. Look, they got Leroy Butler, 36 in there, anticipating the run.
Vikings.
See, the reason Warren Moon ran that ball, they didn't have anybody inside at the middle linebacker position.
Vikings have been hurt by penalties this season. That's their 34th. And their 4th of this game.
But I'll tell you, Sam, this is the hardest part for an NFL quarterback. This is where the pressure is. You're limited as to what you can do. The defense knows that, and they all stand on the goal line.
Jordan in motion, 3 wideouts in. 1st and goal from the 9. Moon looking end zone, and he's brought down. Santana Dotson.
That's what I'm talking about. When you get down to this end of the field, the trend has gone to, hey, don't go man-to-man. Don't take the chance of somebody running free. Back off play zone. There he is, Santana Dotson, 70, working inside on Jirac, 66. Jirac gets a pretty good initial punch, then he loses him. That's the quickness and the strength of Santana Dotson. Watch the coverage, though. Look at how many yellow helmets are standing around the goal line. Look at that. They got guys running into each other.
6-yard loss. It's 2nd and goal from the 15. Again, Jordan in motion. Moon handing to Wayne Play, and Wayne Simmons swings him around and throws him down hard.
Boy, Wayne Simmons somebody must have faxed the Minnesota Vikings game plan to Wayne Simmons, because he has been everywhere.
Somebody's got to help Amp Lee. He's by himself.
He's fired up.
Around him.
Wayne Simmons was talking before. Boy, he is going. 1st round pick in '93. There he is right there, number 59. And see, they come on an underneath stunt. Sean Jones worked upfield, and he came underneath. Now here is where the drama starts. Boy, he threw Amp Lee around like he was featherweight.
Ball spotted now at the 20. This series began at the 4-yard line. It is 3rd and goal from the 20.
Wayne Simmons got a little Brian Cox in him.
A penalty and 2 losses.
That's another thing about this defense. I don't think Mike Holmgren agreed with us when we talked about it, but they are more physical. In the last 2 years, they have been nastier. They have gotten after people. They have put intimidation and fear in people's hearts.
Ampley in the backfield. Moon gets time, throws to the end zone.
Great catch.
Touchdown, Minnesota.
Great catch. Wait, they got a flag. There it is.
There's a flag in the backfield.
That's on Green Bay.
It's against Green Bay. The Vikings have the lead.
And sportsmanlike conduct. Boy, and Mike is right. All he can do is just bite his lips and shake his head. Mike, you're in Minnesota. You know how it goes here. Watch how they pick up the blitz. They come with Dotson off late. They pick that up. He gets there, but it's too late. The ball's gone. Watch the catch. Newsome's in perfect position. Look at this. Oh. Newsome never got to a point where he could look on the opposite side of Kadri and swap. Kadri did an excellent job of using his body and making the play.
20-yard touchdown pass, Moon to Kadri Ismail. And Scott Sisson for the extra point. The Vikings force a turnover and cash it in again. And for the first time this season, the Green Bay Packers are trailing in a game. 5:01 to go in the first half. Vikings lead it 14-7.
And that's key what you said, Sam. For the first time, Green Bay is on the ropes. They've never been here. They don't know what it's like this season. And you can say what you want to about Warren Moon. You can say he's getting old, his shoulder hurts, he doesn't have it. But you know what? He's smart, he knows how to put it there, and he put it there under pressure. And this man here, Kadri Ismail, made the catch under pressure. And it all goes back to the turnover. We keep talking about turnovers, and people are tired of hearing it, but you know what? It means things. It means this. It means points.
Warren Moon 7 for 13, 79 yards, 2 touchdown passes. And today he went by Joe Montana to 3rd all-time in the NFL in pass completions.
You know, I wonder how that guy does it sometimes. And now look where they're kicking the ball off. You talk about Green Bay having the great field position last 3 weeks. Well, because of the unsportsmanlike conduct, the Vikings are now kicking off on their own 45-yard line. There it is. Look what the miscues have led to. That's huge. That's not field goal. That's not, you know, getting 3 downs and then punting it back. Those are 6 points. That's 21 points off turnovers.
Mitch Berger to kick off from the 45. And it should be through the end zone. It is.
Should be 3 points.
So Denny Green likes the way things have gone for his team. Viking fans excited.
And when you look, how many times, like you said, how many times has this team been in this position? How many times has Brett Favre been in this position? You know, and you look at the score. No, the score isn't a reason to panic. But it's a reason to panic when you think about how many times Green Bay has had to come from this area, come from this position.
You know it had to happen sometime, and now we'll see how the Packers react.
But if they want to get to that higher level and be talked about and be a Super Bowl team, then they have to respond to situations like Super Bowl teams.
Favre off the play fake, steps up, looking, throwing deep.
He's got
wide open, Robert
there
Brooks.
It is.
Brooks to the 30, cuts inside of the 20, and ridden down at the 13-yard line by Robert Griffin.
And they got a flag, Sam. I can't believe it.
There's a holding call against Green Bay. It's all wiped out. Oh, boy.
Holding by the offense, number 68. Half the distance to the goal, it remains first down.
Gary Brown, the left tackle.
Gary Brown, this has been an area of concern. Mike Holmgren talks about what area on this team gives you the heebie-jeebies. Well, I'll tell you what, I've seen worse holding calls than that. He kind of hooked his arm. Watch, Brooks is going to drag all the way to the other side of the field. They ran the same play against the San Diego Chargers. They clear and they drag him all the way across. Favre stayed in the pocket. He shuffled, but stayed in it. And we talked about Green Bay having to respond, Sam. like a Super Bowl team always does. If they want to get to that level, they had to do what they did then. Unfortunately, Gilbert Brown has the holding penalty, but I tell you, I got to go back. I've seen worse calls than that. I don't know if I agree with that call.
I thought he pulled him down.
He got his arm, but I've seen it called worse than that.
On 1st and 20, another pump and throwing deep down the sideline for Brooks. It's overthrown. Wayne Washington and Orlando Thomas on the coverage.
I'm afraid, you know, you get that kind of play once. Watch here. Alexander, number 90, and Brett Favre complained about this. He tries to get the pump fake and the pump and go.
Ooh.
He's legal. He got the step after the release. But you hit a quarterback that low, you know, a lot of people might say, hey, that's intent to injure. Once again, he beats Brown around the corner too easy, and Brown tried to grab him again and missed him.
It's 2nd and long for Green Bay. Up the middle goes William Henderson.
Nice call. They got another flag,
Another
Sam.
flag back down at the line of scrimmage.
This is unreal. I'll tell you why this is happening. It's happening because of a quick, fiery, opportunistic defense like the Minnesota Vikings. Yeah, you can say they're small. Yeah, you can say they don't have the talent that Green Bay has on defense. You can say all that stuff, but look at the score and look what they're doing. They're making plays, especially that guy, number 50. When Jack Del Rio left, everybody said, well, that's it. We don't have a playmaker anymore. We don't have anybody inside. When they lost Ed McDaniel, they said, we don't have a guy that can get to the football and be an intimidator. Well, Coach Fazio found a way to get those guys playing.
Holding by the offense, number 52. After distance to the goal, repeat 2nd down.
Frank Winters, the center, is called.
You know, and they're starting to feel the hit. Their center, watching it right there. He's got Ezra Tuaolo on his face. See, right there, he's got a little bit of that jersey. When the referees see you pull that jersey, they see that jersey and that number stretch from the backside, they're going to call it. They don't have to see the hole. They just have to see that jersey stretch, and they're going to throw the flag.
6 penalties for the Packers. 64 yards. It's 2nd down and 25. Edgar Bennett tries to get outside and gets nothing. Vikings all over him. They love it in the Metrodome, the Vikings fans, that is. And there's about 42,000 strong. The rest of this 60,000 plus house filled up by Packers fans. 3rd and 25. Dixon Edwards made the stop on Edgar Bennett on the last play.
Green Bay using an awful lot of time here on that substitution. The clock is at 6 and running. Favre's got to get up there and get this one off.
He's called timeout.
He had to.
Yeah.
He had to. They were very slow from the sidelines for some reason.
Packers have used up all their timeouts already. There's still 3:11 to go in the half.
I think that's kind of an indication on how things are going. Mike Holmgren's team, very crisp, very clean in getting people on and off the field. They have a ton of formation. They didn't that time.
We've got good second games coming up on doubleheader day on Fox NFL Sunday. Deion Sanders and the Dallas Cowboys battle Bruce Smith and the Buffalo Bills, or another NFC Central matchup, the Bears and the Lions. Don't miss these crucial NFL matchups coming up next, right here on Fox. Chicago, Detroit, very important game. Both teams are 1 and 2.
Yeah, well, the key there for Detroit is number 20. Forget Scott Mitchell right now. He's having a lot of problems. They got to put the ball in number 20's hands.
Here's what's happening in the NFC Central Division. These two teams, Green Bay and Minnesota, 3-0 up top. Chicago and Detroit, 1 and 2. Very important game for those two teams. In Tampa Bay playing at home against Seattle today, looking for their first win of the season.
It's funny talking about what Mike Holmgren did. He changed all the stuff that they used to do when they come into Minnesota. You know, a new hotel. He said they had a little bit more fun at practice. They tried to relax.
Didn't help. They're still getting strange things happening.
Yeah, it hasn't helped yet.
4 wideouts in for the Packers. Favre quickly to Beebe.
Yeah, but it's 3rd and 25. Minnesota's going to let him have that one. Get off the field and punt it.
Wayne Washington made the tackle. on Don Beebe, and the Packers will be forced to punt. So the Vikings should get good field position here. Late in the first half, Craig Hendrick averaging 47 yards on 4 punts already. And David Palmer back at his own 45-yard line. Hendrick, third-year man out of Notre Dame. Gets it away. Good high kick. Oh, he boomed it back there. Palmer across the 30. Gets to the 35-yard line. Wow. Kicking from near the goal line. Yeah, the kick was about 70 yards in the air, maybe further than that. 63-yard punt.
Pete Bursich
Had to be close to 75 yards in the air. That's Pete Bursich.
He got his leg rolled upon in the pile there. He was trying to block. They pushed him into the back of the pile. Boy, that's your nightmare there. That's something I always worried about as a player. Trying to block for somebody, and there he is right there. And he can't see. I mean, luckily, he got himself so he could bend straight back and not laterally on the side of that leg. You know, there was a lot of talk about guys wearing knee braces. You know, and if everybody wore a knee brace, you'd limit some figure like 70% of the knee injuries that occur and all that. But guys don't wear them. They're just too restrictive. They got to be able to feel like they can run and feel good, feel comfortable.
Warren Moon brings his team on the offense with 2:17 remaining in the first half. And the Vikings leading 14-7. Warren Moon had a good week of practice, threw the ball well. Says he'll have soreness in his ankle at least till the bye. Moon swings it out for Robert Smith, incomplete. Smith was off balance. Chris Carter and Wayne Simmons go nose to nose after the play. Robert Smith comes off.
You know, Warren hurt both ankles, hyperextended both ankles in the opener against Detroit. And since that time, he's had to go through the taping, and he wears the orthotics and all that kind of stuff. He says, I won't be able to scramble, and I won't be able to dance that much. And you can see it, his feet are flat the whole time trying to throw.
Out to Ampley in the flat. And he's knocked out of bounds at the 35-yard line. No gain on the play. Doug Evans has had a strong game for Green Bay, fourth-year man out of Louisiana Tech. See out of the Fox box. Minnesota with 2 timeouts remaining. Green Bay is out of timeouts. And we'll get the 2-minute warning right after this play. No, we'll get it right now before this play. Warren Moon comes to the sideline. The Vikings with a 14-7 lead on the Packers. Packers Khaki halftime report. JB and Terry bring you scores and highlights from Week 4 of the NFL, and also don't miss Fox NFL Sunday's Choice Cuts featuring the best plays from the NFL from last week. All coming up on the Dockers Khaki halftime report. Right here, it's 3rd and 10 out of the shotgun for the first time in the game. Moon gets protection, now gets rushed from the outside, fired, almost intercepted. Eugene Robinson.
Give the credit to the Green Bay Packers secondary. Warren Moon had as much time as he's ever going to get in this league. The only guy that gets there is 71 Santana Dotson. Watch what they do to Reggie White. They leave some help in on Corey Stringer. They leave a back in. No way.
It was more
chalk it up. Chalk it up to Bob Valicente, the defensive back coach of the Green Bay Packers. They shut him down.
It was more than some help. 3 guys took Reggie on that play. Mitch Berger's 5th punt of the game. Desmond Howard at the 20. Vikings all around them. Tries the other side. Ooh, picked up a block.
All he needs is one more.
Good return. Desmond Howard may go. Across midfield, he's tripped up by Chris Walsh. And that may have saved a touchdown.
Is Desmond Howard's speed? Desmond, you got it. All you got to do is run.
Well, he ran all the way across the field and back.
Desmond Howard is going to start off to the right. Picks up a nice block there. I want you to keep an eye on the blocking. He's going to pick up right there. Excellent. Here's another one coming up right there. Now, run. Give some credit, though. Give some credit, though, to number 81, Chris Walsh.
Great
He can fly.
Great return by Desmond Howard. Corey Dowden, number 42, with a big block.
Boy,
And Lamont Hollandquist
he cleaned out Mo Williams' sinuses on that one.
also came up with a block. So now it's the Packers at the Vikings, 45, no timeouts remaining, a minute 36 left in the first half. Favre sends everybody out, gets pressure, spun around, down he goes.
He ain't down yet.
Marty Harrison got him first.
Boy. You know, the great punt return gives Green Bay the great field position. But they got to make something happen.
Hurry up offense. It's back to the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10. Favre throws it, and flags went down before the play, and a big hit on Brett Favre by Marty Harrison.
Hits on Favre again. That man lives on the Metrodome turf when he comes here.
Before the ball was snapped, ball start by the offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty, it remains 2nd down.
And now that's Earl Dotson. It's his turn. He's the right tackle on the opposite side. Now, this is one thing, but the hits is something else. They have really taken it to him. He's been down 3 times, and he's got the 1 turnover.
Ball back at midfield on 2nd and 15 with a minute 19 remaining. Favre steps up, throws to the sideline, incomplete. Intended for Brooks, and again he was hit.
He had him, he missed him.
Corey Fuller with a good hit on Robert Brooks.
Now, Corey Fuller isn't known to have outstanding technique, but he does recover. The ball is high. That gives Fuller a chance to make the hit. Brooks tried to take Fuller to the post corner, but I want to show you something. We can freeze it right there. That man, number 59, he made Brett Favre put air under that ball. He was in what you call the throwing lane.
3rd and 15. Pressure by Harrison. The ball's loose. Bouncing around. It's still loose.
Looks like Green Bay got it back.
Marty Harrison has been in for 3 plays in this series, and he has had an impact on each of his 3 plays. Earl Dotson recovered the fumble.
But once again, watch what happens when Favre gets to the last step of his drop. He doesn't have anywhere to go with the football, and now the pressure comes. You know, Harrison is pointing and he's yelling and screaming and celebrating. Man, get on the ball. The bad part about that, if you're a Green Bay Packer fan, is they had the turnover they needed to score before half, which is what they needed. They didn't do anything with it, and they're lucky to have the ball and be punting it away right now. They should have lost it.
Harrison didn't expect to see the ball bouncing around there. It was a big surprise. He was down. He took the guy down. He made the play. All of a sudden, there's the ball bouncing around. What's this? 19 seconds remaining in the first half.
Delay of game by the offense. The penalty is declined. It remains 4th down.
Well, quite a first half for the Minnesota Vikings. They have taken advantage of turnovers, and they are forcing the Packers to come from behind for the first time this season. Right now, they've been stopping the Packers. Good high kick by Craig Hendrick. Coming down to David Palmer at the 16-yard line. 12 seconds left in the first half. Warren Moon has thrown 2 touchdown passes. Brett Favre has thrown 1. Packers have been unable to sustain any drives.
Yeah, they haven't. But, you know, there's a reason for that, because they haven't had to sustain drives so far this year. Everything has come quick.
Don't forget the Dockers Khakis halftime report coming up. JB and Terry with scores and highlights around the league. Choice cuts. Best plays from last week.
And I think Denny Green's doing something really smart here. Why take a chance? You know, we talk about the score only being 14-7, and that's not a reason to panic from that standpoint. But the momentum, the score is like 50-0.
Mike Holmgren will have some things to say to his team. He has not had success in the Dome. The end of the first half, Vikings 14, Packers 7. J.B. Terry, Howie, and Ronnie Lott will be along from the Fox Television Center following these messages. In Minneapolis, where the Minnesota Vikings have a 14-7 lead on the Green Bay Packers. This halftime highlight is brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors.
And, you know, as we talked about in the beginning of the game, what was going to be key was for the Vikings to get on the board, to keep Green Bay off the board quick. Now, this is the Qadry Ismail pass. And, you know, great job of coverage by Craig Newsome, but just an outstanding job also by Qadry of going up and getting the ball.
And once again, it came after a turnover forced by the Minnesota Vikings.
Right, we talked about that. Every time they come here, turnovers are key, and that's what it's been today. They've been on the ground, and it's always against Green Bay, and that's the same way it's been today.
Look at the numbers, big, important numbers. Penalties for the Packers, which have stopped them, and turnovers by the Vikings.
Yeah, the big thing I see there, outside of the turnovers, is the penalties. I mean, those are 69 huge yards. And that's something that Denny Green talked about his team having to stay away from. Well, now it's Green Bay that's got to fight that off in the second half.
And the Vikings have really gotten onto Brett Favre.
Well, yeah, you know, in this offense, in a West Coast offense, you have to get to the quarterback in any offense, and you got to put him on the ground and get him dirty. The Vikings do that to Favre every single time he comes here. He's been knocked out of 2 contests, and this one is no different. Once again, he's on the ground. He's getting the uniform dirty, and they're putting hits on him. And there, yeah, there. Look at the knockdowns. That's 5 right there. The hurries, and you got to. There's been some good coverage too downfield by the Vikings defensive backs. You can't take that away. For the most part, they haven't given up the big play except for one time to Robert Brooks, but they had the penalty, so we go back to the penalty.
So what's the approach for Brett Favre going into the second half?
Well, there's no reason for anybody to panic. It's 14-7, and they can definitely get back into this game, I mean, without a doubt. But same token, there's no reason for Minnesota to be too confident. 14-7, this is still a very close game. The momentum makes it seem much worse.
Greg Hendrick to kick off to start the second half. Back deep is Qadry Ismail with amp lead. Ismail with the reception for a touchdown. Packers scored first in the first quarter. Robert Brooks catching a 13-yard touchdown pass from Brett Favre, then won't hit Jake Reed for a 26-yard touchdown pass in the first quarter to tie it, and then the pass to Ismail, giving the Vikings the lead. Amp Lee at the 15, looking for some room, makes his way up to the 27-yard line. The Vikings go on offense to start the second half.
I look for Minnesota to pretty much stay in the same type of game plan that they did in the first half. They're going to run a little bit, tease a little bit with Robert Smith, get what they want. You have to try it. Even if you don't want to stick with it as your final game plan, you have to try it to let the defense know that you can do it. But in the end, it's going to be the big plays, and that's what they've done, the big passing plays on the perimeter.
With Charles Evans and Robert Smith in the backfield, Smith carrying. Pulls his way up to the 35-yard line. Strong run by Robert Smith. George Kuntz, the middle linebacker, and Leroy Butler in on the stop.
Robert Smith is a guy that has never been healthy the whole time he's been here in Minnesota, and a lot of people have dogged him out for it. You know, he's had the contract situation, he's held out, but finally this looks like it's going to be a healthy year for Robert Smith.
2nd and 2. That's Evans in motion. And Smith didn't get much. Looks like it's going to bring up 3rd and short. He ran towards Reggie White.
Another thing that they want to try to do by running the football against Green Bay is force Fritz Shermer, the defensive coordinator, to take Leroy Butler and bring it up and make it an 8-man front. All that means is now you got less people to cover with. You know, coordinators, they're like everybody else. They got big egos. They hate to see anybody run the ball on them, get any yards. They want to stop it now, and a lot of times that gets them in trouble.
Vikings 2 for 8 on third downs in the game. 3rd and 1. Moon faking, throwing up the sideline, complete to Jake Reed. First down in Packer territory. Jake Reed has become a big play man for the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, that's what they are. You know, you got two different type of West Coast offenses, I think. You got one, and Mike Holmgren and his team, you know, they like to get a lot of people out in the routes. They like to use a lot of weapons. They're more dink and dunk oriented, and they like to use the run sometimes. I think Minnesota is more of a perimeter passing team. Everything they do is perimeter. They like to run to the perimeter. And the only difference is they got a guy in Robert Smith, contrary to what people think, is tough enough to run inside.
Boone off the play fake, over the middle, tip, caught by Reed. Rolls down to the 23-yard line.
Boy, you know, that's just great concentration. They come with a nice play action. I don't know if it was very effective. Watch the linebackers here. There's 51, 53, Kuntz, Williams. They get him for a second, but Kuntz gets depth. Very nice. He touches the ball. But look at that. Oh,
that's a great reception.
Those are the type of strange things that happen in this game. They're playing what's called cover 2. Everybody else is underneath. Only the safeties are deep. The danger area is in the middle. Hey, it's one of those things that happen in this game.
21-yard pickup as the ball is spotted at the Packer 26. This is Robert Smith. Bounces off one tackler, spins, and then got knocked back by Craig Newsome.
They had a mix-up on that play. And Smith makes the best of it. You know, one matchup in this game that we got to keep an eye on is Corey Stringer versus Reggie White right here. And Corey Stringer remembers all too well about last year. Now, this is a run play, but he knows one thing. He's got to stay in front of Reggie White. Does a pretty good job, but you know what? I got to give the credit to Reggie on that one. Reggie jumped outside when he saw Robert, forced everything back inside.
On second down, it's Amp Lee trying to cut back. Only got about a yard on the play. Right now, it's time for a McDonald's game break. Let's return to James Brown at our television center. JB.
Sam, Steve Young playing with a pulled groin muscle. Yes, indeed, he lumbers back, but still tosses his first touchdown pass of the season, a 44-yarder to Derek Lavelle. It is now 20-7, Carolina. Back to Sam and Ron.
Yeah, that looks better, but I don't know if it is better for San Francisco. It definitely looks better.
3rd and 4 for the Vikings. Boone gets protection and throws, and it is complete to Chris Carter. Very close to a first down.
Now, Minnesota feels the momentum. They're ahead. What's the first thing they do? They put together a drive. They run the ball, pick away. Inside receiver right here. Look at just a little out. You see the way Chris Carter pushed off with that right arm? And did he catch it? Yeah, I think that's good. That's a veteran. That's the little things that the refs will never see. Got just enough separation to get the catch.
Chris Carter's second catch of the day. He's caught passes in 71 consecutive games. Boone throws right side. Incomplete, intended for Greg DeLong, the tight end. Good opening drive of the second half of the Minnesota Vikings.
Fritz Shermer there, defensive coordinator. We talked earlier about the great job he did last year in that playoff game against San Francisco. Boy, he never let Steve Young and the weapons they have off to a good start. He got him at the beginning and they never recovered.
On 2nd and 10. Two tight ends in for Minnesota. The pitch to Robert Smith. And a good play by Wayne Simmons.
Well, Wayne Simmons is like a bad odor. I mean, he's everywhere. You just can't get rid of him.
His 4th tackle of the game.
But I tell you what that is, though. That, to me, is nothing but the speed of this team. There he is right up here. He gets off the block of Stussy and makes the play. Good job, too, by Doug Evans of holding the corner.
Three wide receivers in for Minnesota on 3rd and 11. With Ampley in the backfield. Moon with a little rollout, throws high, incomplete. There's two men deep on the right side. Kadri Ismail in front of Chris Carter. And it was a little high for both.
But you look at Minnesota and you still wonder how they do it. Chris Carter got a little jaw jack in there, smiling at Greg Newsome. But you wonder how they do it. And that's why people say it looks ugly. You know, what's gone on in the first half wasn't they got the great turnovers and the field position and all that. But, you know, they run a little bit, doesn't look like much. They make a little pass here, doesn't look like much. Before you know it, they're down the field and kicking a field goal.
Scott Sisson will attempt a field goal from 35 yards. He has made 6 in a row after missing his first of the season, and this one is good. The Vikings add to the lead with an opening drive of the second half of better than 5 minutes. The Vikings lead 17-7.
NFL Sunday is brought to you by Microsoft Software. Where do you want to go today? By Paramount Pictures' The Ghost in the Darkness starts Friday, October 11th at theaters everywhere, rated R. By Snickers. Not going anywhere for a while? Grab a Snickers. Hungry? Why wait? And by Starter. No one's closer to the game.
Mitch Berger to kick off, following the field goal by Scott Sisson. Good kick. Beebe, 8 yards deep, takes a knee. It's all going the Vikings' way right now. 9:32 to go, third quarter, and Minnesota with a 10-point lead. Vikings scored the first points against Green Bay in the third quarter this season and lead at 17-7.
Yeah, the funny thing, this defense, Green Bay's defense, is not used to playing hard from here on in. They have not been on the field very often, and the tight ends have not been a factor.
Packers tight ends have only caught one pass. Jackson, who came in with 9, has gotten none in this game. Favre on first down. Complete to Beebe. Nice
Beebe
move.
can run. Beebe can run.
Big play. Beebe's going. Inside the 30. Picks up a block.
He's gone.
Touchdown, Beebe. Wow.
There it is.
An 80-yard touchdown.
There it is.
Beebe, and Don Beebe made that play.
There it is.
That's the longest reception for a touchdown in the NFL this season.
The Vikings secondary lost concentration for 1 split second, and it came in the form of their tackling. They'd had a problem with this all game long. Don Beebe's going to be on this side. He's going to hook in right there. Nothing big about that, but count the missed tackles. Okay, he gets away from Dwayne Washington. That's 1. That's 2 right there. And now he just runs away from everybody. The reason the Buffalo Bills originally drafted Don Beebe, he's a world-class sprinter. He was the fastest man on their roster.
Chris Jackie makes the extra point. And in one play, the Packers have turned the momentum of this game. It's 17-14. Don Beebe makes it happen for Green Bay. Don Beebe, who played for the Carolina Panthers last season, caught 14 passes, 1 touchdown. Scores the touchdown on the 80-yard pass play to put the Packers right back in it. Greg Hendricks kick. Coming down to Kadri Ismail at the 6. Picks up a couple of blocks, gets to the 26-yard line, and a flag flies in. And they'll talk it over. It's against Minnesota.
Don Beebe, after that long run, look at this. He's got the Packer fans right above him. Don Beebe, like we said, he can fly. He's a 4.2, 40-yard dash man.
Big block in the back by the offense, number 56. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Beebe played in 3 of Buffalo's 4 Super Bowl appearances, was injured for 1.
And you know, it's funny, when he was in Carolina, Kerry Collins wasn't developed enough, and the offense wasn't developed enough to take advantage of him. That's why he stayed there for such a short time. And in Buffalo, I mean, you had so much talent there. You had Lofton, you had Reed, you had the Brookses.
Let's see if that play fires up the Packers defense.
That's what I want to see. Will the Packers defense respond after that?
Showing blitz. Moon goes back on first down, throwing short to Charles Evans. And he's hit by George Kuntz. Up to the 19-yard line. George Kuntz had been playing on the outside. Ron Cox was brought in from Chicago. He was going to be the middle linebacker, but Kuntz was moved inside as Kuntz, Simmons, and Williams are the three best linebackers on the team. Williams played so well in preseason, they moved Kuntz into the middle. 6-yard pickup on the play. 2nd and 4, Andrew Jordan in motion. Moon sends everybody out and completes to Chris Carter.
There has never been an offense that just takes advantage of what the defense gives them better than Minnesota. Chris Carter has run one route today, and it's been an 8-yard out, an 8-yard turn from the slot position. And then he ran it from the outside position.
Carter's 3rd reception of the game. 7 different players have been on the receiving end of Warren Moon passes. First down, Vikings up at the 28-yard line. Robert Smith hit a wall and lost some yardage.
I think that's key there. Up to this point, Minnesota has been very good. As we look at Brian Billick, the offensive coordinator for the Vikings, Minnesota has been outstanding in first downs. A couple plays ago, they just first down, they got 2nd and 4. You can live as an offensive coordinator with 2nd and 4.
Happily.
Very happily. Their aim is to want to get 3.5, 4 yards of crack. But if they get over 4 and over 5, life is good.
They lost one on that play. Fake to Lee. Moon is rushed.
Nope.
Incomplete. Reggie White. Big time pressure.
Reggie finally comes on.
It wasn't quite a sack. It was close. The all-time leading sack man in the NFL.
Don't just watch Reggie. Watch what he does. Watch his tools. Watch how he gets to the quarterback. He just bull rushes a 329-pound tackle. You know why that happened? Because Corey Stringer is so worried about Reggie running around him. He's back on his heels, and Reggie's smart enough to read that. Now he comes with the bull rush.
The great Reggie White. 3rd and 11 for Minnesota. Moon in the shotgun. Throws. And it is caught. Complete to Jake Reed. Boy, when Warren Moon needs a big play in this game, he finds Jake Reed.
Everything is to the perimeter. They like to run there, they throw there. That time, Corey Stringer says, all right, you're not going to bull rush me twice. Look at the sweat coming off the face mask. Tell me that man ain't working. Boy, he can't even, look how strong he is. He can't even get his hands in there. Nice timing, great catch. Warren Moon, though, doing an excellent job of looking off the defenders, looking off the Green Bay secondary.
First down, Vikings at midfield. Flea flicker. Moon for Carter. Trying a one-handed grab, went off his fingertips. Craig Newsome covering.
They never got Leroy Butler, number 36, to bite. That was the whole thing. An excellent call for this time of the game. Number 36, there he is. See, Leroy never bought the cheese. He stayed back, and Newsome helps too. They both stay back and make the play. He wants to take it down the middle of the field, but he saw Leroy Butler, so he had to take it to the sidelines, and now Newsome has a chance to recover.
3 wideouts in for Minnesota. Everybody out. Moon being pressured, gets it to Lee. Picks up about 5 as Doug Evans knocked him out of bounds. This is a real important drive, I think, for the Minnesota Vikings. They've come from deep in their own territory into Packers territory after the big touchdown by Green Bay.
Absolutely. Under pressure. I mean, he's got the 5 hurries, but see, they're not getting to him. They're not dirtying his uniform, and that's the difference. He's throwing the pick, yeah, but they're not hitting him enough.
It's 3rd and 3, 7 yards on that pass to Ampli. This time, he completes again to Ampli, and he's got a first down. Greg Newsome on the stop.
Boy, Reggie is hot about
Yes,
something.
he is. He's going to,
He's
at the
pointing
sideline.
at something.
He got a problem. Reggie White could be hurting.
Reggie's gone. Something's hurting him.
Yep.
He might have just got a shot to the stomach.
Shannon Clavel, number 91, has replaced Reggie White. Smith runs left. Gets down to about the 35-yard line.
Boy, look at the Packers sprawled out in the field now. You got Santana Dotson. He was down for a second. Gabe Wilkins, he was down. This defense is not used to being here this time of the game. This is the last play where Reggie got hurt. Let's see if we can see what happened. Comes with the rip move. Stringer working on him.
And then Reggie went off. 2nd and 8. Carter in motion. Moon rolls right. Chased by Brian Williams. Got it to Andrew Jordan, the tight end, at the 30-yard line. It's short of a first down, but a good pickup under heavy pressure on Warren Moon.
There has to be room to work the tight ends. The Vikings never work the tight ends. And Dennis Green told us that last night. He admitted it. We are a perimeter team. The heat's going to come from 51, Brian Williams. He gets Moon out of the pocket. I wouldn't be surprised, Sam, if Minnesota starts to work down the inside of the field with the tight ends.
3rd and 2, 12th play of the drive. Everybody out. Moon. Intercepted by George Kuntz.
I don't know if Moon can get him.
Moon get him?
Gotta get him.
Kuntz stays in bounds. Touchdown, Green Bay.
Boy, that's huge. That's huge.
The Packers turn it over and take the lead.
That is huge.
Wow.
Do you believe this game?
75-yard return for a touchdown by George Kuntz.
The speed, the agility, the quickness of the Green Bay Packer linebackers. This has been a problem area for them for a long time. There he is, 53. Now he's just going to make a break on the ball. Warren Moon, there was contact with Williams. Did you see that? Now Warren, he doesn't go out of bounds. He doesn't go out of bounds. That's a happy man. First career touchdown.
Jackie for the extra point, and the Packers with 2 big plays. An 80-yard pass play to Don Beebe, a 75-yard interception return for touchdown by George Kuntz. Packers now lead 21-17. Is brought to you by Budweiser. Each team with 3 turnovers, and each team with 14 points off turnovers.
They just ought to spot each team like 5 turnovers at the beginning of this game and say, okay, now go play football. Because that's what they do anyway. And that was one heck of an interception. You know, the Green Bay Packers finally have gotten their linebacker position straight. Ever since Brian Noble got hurt and Johnny Holland got hurt, they have been struggling to get that area together. This year, they finally got it solid.
Qadri Ismail on the return is buried short of the 20-yard line. 3:47 remaining in the 3rd quarter. The Packers are pumped. The defense has made a big impact.
Missed it. This is what you would have seen on Fox NFL Sunday.
A lot of brave men have a lot of trouble with the 49ers.
Can you look me in my eyes and say, I can cover Jerry Rice one-on-one?
Yeah. I can cover Jerry Rice one-on-one.
Chicago, dare I say, would be better with Kramer from Seinfeld at quarterback right now.
Who wrote that?
It's a Fox NFL doubleheader beginning at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific.
George Kuntz here, Brian Williams here. Here's what happened on the play. Watch Williams. There's contact between him and Ampli, and that gave George Kuntz enough time to come over and make the steal. Now watch Kuntz's feet down here. He looks okay here, I think that puts in bounds. But look at that one. Boy, that's close. That's as close as it can get. Here's another angle. I think Warren has to go for his legs. Don't go high. That's a linebacker. That guy lives in the weight room. Get down, stop the source, push him out of bounds.
I think he tight-roped it pretty well.
He did.
Robert Smith on first down. Craig Newsom takes him down after a short gain. How do you figure this? Reggie White's back in the game. He's okay. The Green Bay Packers offense has been on the field for only one play here in the third quarter. We have 3.5 minutes to go. And that one play was an 80-yard touchdown. The Packers have the lead, 21-17. The Vikings, after a terrific drive, turned it over on the interception by George Kuntz. Charles Evans in motion. On 2nd and 6, it's Robert Smith spinning.
No way. And guess who makes that play? He didn't make the tackle, but 59, Wayne Simmons, causes all the drama.
Roy Butler got in on the stop, along with Gilbert Brown, number 93. There's Wayne Simmons. He's had a strong game.
But looking at the big picture here, though, and I talk about big picture,
Ooh.
He fills up all your picture.
That's 325. 6'2", 325.
They had to put in hems and pleats on the side of his jersey to stretch it. That's a big guy.
This is 3rd and 6, and Moon's in the shotgun. Packers coming with his blitz. Flags go down.
You know, now as a quarterback, Warren Moon has got to have the heebie-jeebies.
Before the snap, false start by the offense, number 73. 5-yard penalty, it remains 3rd down.
Well, Sean Jones has been starting to get a little bit more of that corner each time on Todd Stussy. Stussy's starting to get a little antsy. Like I was saying, Moon, he's got to have the heebie-jeebies about throwing the ball now. You know, quarterbacks say, well, you got to forget about that, be a pro, all that baloney. When you've thrown a pick for a touchdown in a big game like this, you will hold that trigger down a little bit early before you let it go.
It's 3rd and 11 as you look at Reggie White's setup. Protection for Moon. He fires, and it's knocked away from Qadri Ismail. Big hit. Mike Pryor came over with the big hit. Craig Newsom had the initial coverage.
They need to get Qadri off the field. He's dinged. He's not sure if he's in Minnesota or South Bend. Watch Pryor right there. There he is. Blam! And he got him with his leg. He didn't really hit him. He just got him with his knee. Boy, Qadri had no idea where he was.
Mitch Berger standing on his own 5-yard line for his 6th punt of the game. Berger gets it away. Good high kick. Desmond Howard at the 32 with room to maneuver. Across the 40. Out of bounds at the 46-yard line. 14-yard return for Desmond Howard. This week on Fox Saturday Baseball, Ken Caminiti and the San Diego Padres battle Mike Piazza and the LA Dodgers, plus other key pennant race matchups. It all begins at 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 Central, or 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. Check your local listings. The pennant races go down the wire.
That's Chip Myers there, the wide receiver coach. They're laughing about it. Qadri Ismail came off the field, boy, and he was slightly shook up.
Packers.
That's the kind of stuff you do when you got your clock clean.
Oh, yeah?
You know, you try to yawn and just get some air in your system and get the cobwebs out and get back down to earth.
Second offensive play from scrimmage for Green Bay. Edgar Bennett into Vikings territory. Picked up about 5 on the play. Vikings have done a good job on Brett Favre today. He's thrown a couple of touchdown passes, finally in the Metrodome.
Well, as long as the interceptions stay down, Mike Holmgren will be happy with that.
That was his 2nd interception of the season. They had one changed to a fumble from last week. He had a ball slip out of his hands, was grabbed out of the air. This is Bennett again. A short gain. Robert Griffith The strong safety. Robert Griffith, number 24, is a good story. 2-year man, picked up as a free agent in 1994, spent 2 years as a special teamer, and has really done a great job stepping in as the starting strong safety.
And this offense has so many weapons. That's why I made that comparison to Roger Craig. Then you look at how good the tight ends have been doing. San Francisco always had a tight end in that West Coast offense. Robert Brooks represents the Jerry Rice, a big playmaker on the perimeter. They've got weapons everywhere.
4 wide receivers for Green Bay. Pressure from Harrison. Down he goes. Boy, Martin Harrison, he has made the most of his plays, the few plays he's had in this game.
Brett Favre, he can get that little side shuffle. I call it the Mississippi side shuffle. He gets it going, but nobody touches Martin Harrison. Once again, all the pressures to get him out to his left, but nobody touches Martin Harrison. I mean, that's a protection breakdown. You can't blame Favre for that one. You can't blame play calling.
Greg Hendrick to punt. Gets it away and gets a booming kick. Palmer lets it bounce at the 5. Packers trying to down it. Did they do it?
What a
yes,
play.
they did at the 1-yard line.
Travis Jervey, excellent play.
Travis Jervey, who has great speed, got down and kept the ball in play.
This is why, now we saw the way Minnesota's gunners were getting beat up. This is why your gunners got to get downfield. Woo! That's sweet. That is sweet.
Great coverage by the Packers, and the Vikings are pinned back at the 1-yard line.
Mike Holmgren laughs about Travis Jervey. That's the guy last year tried to buy a Lion and bring it up to Green Bay. Why? Who knows? That's what Mike said. I have no idea. He said, Travis worries me sometimes.
All right. From the 1-yard line, Moon to pass. Throws for Jake Reed. Incomplete. Flag goes down.
Eugene Robinson had a beat on that ball coming off the hash, and I thought he had it.
And it's going to be, I believe, offensive interference. Jake Reed pushed off on the play. This is going to be against Minnesota.
This is scary, scary territory for Minnesota.
Pass interference by the offense. Number 86. The penalty is declined. Brings up 2nd down.
You know how you get that called in the league today? You got to be on the referee's case as a corner. You got to talk to him after every play, because that's something they don't call. They don't see it. They don't want to call it, I believe. You got to say, hey, the guy is pushing off. Remember we saw Chris Carter push off? You got to tell him. You got to work the official.
Final play, probably the final play of the 3rd quarter. Moon tries to pass again, being rushed. Got rid of it, incomplete. Got knocked down. He paid a price as Sean Jones got in on him. The pass incomplete. We've come to the end of the 3rd quarter. The Vikings had a 17-7 lead, but the Packers came back and lead at the end of 3 quarters, 21-17.
On the left side of the screen, watch Santana Dotson working on the All-Pro. Randall McDaniel doing a pretty good job of escaping and getting penetration, but look what's happening to Todd Stussy. Warren Moon might have a chance to be successful back there if he could just get Stussy off his back on that play.
Minnesota have been good in the 4th quarter this season, outscoring opponents 29-3. For the 4th game in a row, they have not had a lead going into the 4th quarter. They've trailed twice, and they were tied with Chicago last week. On 3rd and 10 from the 1-yard line.
Oh, and they keep trying to pass it out of there.
Moon being rushed.
There it is.
Completes to Jake Reed, a 1st down, close to the 20-yard line. 6 receptions for 120 yards for Jake Reed.
That's about having the confidence of your quarterback, knowing that he won't make a mistake throwing from the end line of his own end zone. Nobody in the center of the field. The Packers play so much cover 2, the middle's emptied out. Boy, that takes guts on Denny Green's part.
Big game for Jake Reed. A 19-yard pickup officially. Short pass complete to Andrew Jordan, the tight end, up to the 34-yard line.
That's what I think they need to do. They're too one-dimensional right now. They're passing outside on the quick outs. They run outside. They're not working the middle of the field enough. Use the tight end. The tight end used to be a big-time fixture for the Minnesota Vikings. He disappeared over the last few years. Get back to him. But you have to be aware, Green Bay's linebackers can cover with the best of them. They're fast, they're quick, they're aggressive.
Vikings have moved out from the shadow of the goalpost, their own goalpost, up to the 33-yard line on first down. It's Robert Smith swinging right.
Outside.
Good pickup by Robert Smith up to the 39. Time for McDonald's game break. Let's return to James Brown at our television center.
Sam, ex-Viking Terry Allen, yes indeed, the NFL's leading rusher, puts 9 yards into the end zone here as the Redskins hold to a lead by touchdown. Coming up later, Troy Aikman and the Cowboys in Buffalo to take on the Bills. Let's take you back to Minnesota. Sam Rosen and Ron Pitts.
Thanks, JB. Washington looking to go 3-1 and make themselves a force in the NFC East. Right here on second down, Smith goes left, slips a tackle, gets across the 40 to the 41.
The one knock on Robert Smith is that he takes some hits, and the reason he takes hits is because he runs high. He's a track guy.
Here are the scores going into the fourth quarter this season. Vikings trailed 10-7 to Detroit and won. Trailed 17-10 to Atlanta and won. We're tied with Chicago and won that 20-14. And today, trailing 21-17 going into the fourth quarter. 3rd and 2, Robert Smith, 19 carries, 39 yards. Packers have done a good job on him. Moon to throw.
Look at the protection.
Running, gets a first down. Covered by Mike Pryor. First down, Warren Moon. He moved pretty well for a guy with a sore ankle.
Warren knows what time it is. This is NFC Central. This is Green Bay, Minnesota. I got to get it done. This is called bunch. What they want to do is create confusion, hoping somebody will blow a coverage and make a play. Well, nobody blows a coverage. Look at that. Everybody's covered on that side of the field. The marker's here. Moon knows exactly where the marker is. And yeah, his ankles are sore. Yeah, he's on anti-inflammatories. Yeah, he has to ice it constantly. But he had to make the play, and he made it.
On first down, Robert Smith tries the right side. Short gain again. They haven't given up on the run. They're not making big plays. Vikings have dominated time of possession here in the second half, and yet have been outscored.
But the turnovers got him in trouble.
Yeah.
That's what got him in trouble. And guys like that, Reggie White, they are fired up now. I tell you, they were in a funk coming out in the second half. And until those turnovers hit.
Gabe Wilkins is in for Reggie White. Darius Holland is in for Gilbert Brown on the Packers defensive line. On 2nd and 8, Charles Evans goes in motion. Moon pumps, throws deep down the right side. He's got Chris Carter, and he's got the pass. Carter with a beautiful catch at the 20-yard line.
Boy, they almost didn't get it. They double-dipped Craig Newsome. They gave him a nice double move. But it's all set up by the pump fake. And that's why you can't look at the quarterback if you're a cornerback. Because there's nothing in there for you but a bad day. Now, Newsome recovers nice. He's young, he's fast, and he's got all that good stuff working for him. But you see, he took that one step, and that one step was the difference in 2 fingernails. He could have made that play if he didn't take that step.
4th reception of the game for Chris Carter. Flag goes down. Smith is hit short of the line of scrimmage. Reggie White and Darius Holland in on the play. It's against Minnesota. Chris Carter.
Everything is on the outsides with Minnesota.
Carter with 4 receptions today now has 21 for the season.
By the offense, the man in motion and number 80 were moving at the same time. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Yeah, if there's a motion, somebody has to be set for a full count before somebody else starts in motion. You got 2 people going at the same time. That is illegal.
Back to the 25-yard line. That's Jake Reed.
I'm not so sure. We look at Jake Reed there. I'm not so sure Reggie doesn't have a little hurt. I mean, he's back in the game now. But boy, at this point in the game, you got to have Reggie White bringing heat all you can.
David Palmer is in for Reed. Oh, big hit.
There's the ball.
Free ball recovered by the Packers. Oh! Scramble is on. Who's got it? Packers think they do. Leroy Butler was the man who got it and came away with it.
There's that Florida State stuff.
He forced the fumble. He made the recovery, and yet another turnover in the game. And the Vikings are the ones who cough it up.
Fritz Shurmur comes with the safety blitz. He'll be right from the outside. Watch Warren Moon. He looks down the middle of the field, but he doesn't look back. He never looks back to that side. Now, Reggie almost loses it here. He tries the lateral, and if Amp Lee can hold on.
And Leroy Butler gets back in the play after he forced the fumble. He recovered another fumble that Reggie threw. Green Bay still leads.
NFL Sunday is brought to you by 1-800-COLLECT, the way we call collect today. By American Express, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, American Express helps you do more. By Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires. And by Hertz, for business, for pleasure. Nobody does it exactly like Hertz.
Back at the Metrodome, the Green Bay Packers in the second half have had 4 plays from scrimmage and 1 punt. Favre rolling, and yet they grab the lead. Favre chased out of bounds. Picked up a couple on the play.
Now here's the last turnover. Now, this is the blitz here. They're going to bring Leroy Butler off the corner. Notice, though, they don't tip it off. They don't cheat that guy down. That's why Warren didn't know it was coming. They're taught to look at the safeties. They see those safeties moving around. They know something's up. And that right there, I don't understand. Now, the blitz is coming from Warren's left. He never looks to the left side. Look at his eyes. Because he didn't see the safety cheat.
2nd and 8 for Green Bay. Favre swings it out to Edgar Bennett. Corey Fuller brought him down. And then he's buried up at the 43-yard line. There is Warren Moon. Vikings have had 2 huge drives in the second half. One ended in an interception for a touchdown. The other one ended in the fumble.
Yeah, and I think that's just a huge play, though, by Leroy Butler. Leroy Butler's a guy that had to get contact at training camp. He was dropping easy interceptions. He didn't know what was going on. Heck, he needed glasses.
3rd and 4 for Green Bay. 3 wide receivers in. Favre, big rush, got rid of it to Dorsey Levens, up to the 45, short of a first down. Jeff Brady, number 50, in on the stop, and that's a good defensive series for the Vikings.
Yeah, he got rid of this one, but watch what happens to Brett Favre every time he throws a ball. But you know, Brett Favre is a strong guy. He's tough mentally, tough physically. He's going to hang in there.
Fernando Smith shaking up on the play with 8:30 to go. Hendrick with his 8th punt of the game. He had 8 in all of the first 3 games this season. Low snap. Hendrick does a good job. Toward the sideline, out of bounds.
But you know, the center on that play is Mark Shimura. And this is a guy, he does a lot of double duty.
Shimura, the tight end, the long snapper. The Vikings will go on offense at their own 20-yard line, trailing the Packers 21-17. This week's Degree Hot Rookies are Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Zach Thomas, both of the Miami Dolphins. Each week, Degree will honor the NFL's hottest rookies. One of the reasons, or 2 of the reasons, why the Dolphins are undefeated this season. Vikings have had the ball for 18 minutes and 3 seconds in the second half and scored only 3 points. Packers have had it for 2 minutes, 49 seconds. Screen to Amp Lee. Turns into a good gain. He's wrestled down up the 34-yard line by Eugene Robinson. Vikings have moved the ball well here in the second half. Have nothing to show for it.
Yeah, well, they've moved the ball well throughout the game. You know, it looks so bad the way they do it. They dink here, they dink there, they get some plays here and there, and then they get the big play. You saw a few plays ago, they had the play to Chris Carter.
With us for the game. The number of plays, 23 more plays than the Packers.
Green Bay came into this game with 37 minutes time of possession. That's way down for them.
Moon on a short drop was rushed by Sean Jones, got it away and completes.
Yeah, but
Qadri Ismail.
But you know, he saw George Kuntz over on that left side. He wanted to go to Andrew Jordan, the tight end. Sean Jones has been getting a little bit of a corner now, getting an edge on Todd Stussy. He comes upfield here, nobody's on him. And you're not going to try to pick up Sean Jones with Robert Smith. A back on a defensive lineman does not work.
13-year veteran Sean Jones. 2nd and 7. Well, the Vikings at their own 37. It's Ant Lee. It's up to the 40-yard line. Now here comes a big third down play. Clock running, 6:35 remaining in the fourth.
Sam, this is great. This is a classic NFC Central game. Turnovers here, hard hitting, a lot of trash talking. And at the end, you know what? It's still close.
Yep.
It looks like one team's going to win it. Nope, wait a minute. That'll change. Now it looks like somebody else is going to win it. You just have to sit back and enjoy it.
3rd and 4. Carter right, Reed left. Evans and Lee in the backfield. Protection for Moon. He got it to him. Great catch by Chris Carter. First down, Vikings at midfield. One of the greats in the NFL, Chris Carter, with his 5th reception of the game. And a little look at Carter. Couple of jabs at Reggie White.
I don't know what to tell Craig Newsom. Craig Newsom is in his job. I mean, he's got him covered about as well as you can. Look at this. Craig just had trouble locating the ball. Boy, that's what you call having confidence in the guy. Throw him the ball, because you know somehow, some way he's going to come up with it.
On first down, Robert Smith spins for 5 yards.
When I look at the Minnesota Vikings, and I think about how they're running the football a little bit better, you know, they're not outstanding yet, and they're not where Denny Green wants them to be. You remember the last time they had a Pro Bowl running back?
A long time ago.
You got to go back to Chuck Norman. That's unbelievable. Well, you know, then you got to ask yourself, with Holmgren bringing the West Coast to the division and Denny Green bringing his style of West Coast, what happened to the black and blue of it? What would Vince Lombardi say about all this West Coast stuff?
There's plenty of black and blue there. Jake Reed on the reception. First down, Minnesota. The Packers.
Jake Reed's hurt. Jake Reed, he might have a cramp or something. We saw him on the sidelines. He's not all there.
Vikings with a first down at the Packers 37. Qadri Ismail in for Jake Reed. Robert Smith carries. Big hole. Smith inside the 15. He's going in. Touchdown. Seven-yard touchdown run for Robert Smith gives the Vikings the lead. Puts the extra point through, and with 4:13 to go in the fourth quarter, the Minnesota Vikings have come back to take the lead. It's 24-21. Robert Smith with a touchdown run. Vikings have the lead with 4:13 to go as Mitch Berger gets set to kick off.
And you know what, Sam? You brought up a great point. On that last run, Reggie White was not in the game, and they ran it to the right side.
Berger to kick. Packers have given up 26 points in the first 3 games. They've given up 24 today. Line drive to Beebe at the 7. Beebe trying to break through. Gets to the 35. Good return. Richard Brown on the tackle.
I want you to watch 2 blocks. Girac right here, 66. Corey Stringer working on Brian Williams. This is what happens when you don't have Reggie White in. That would have been White, and you don't have a man at the point of attack. Freeze it. 2 pancakes. That's what running the football is all about. And that's Christie. That's Christie, the center, right there. Excellent block. 2 guys locked up. You don't have a Reggie White. You don't have any force at the point of attack. You can't make plays.
Now the Packers try to come back. Brooks in motion. Favre in a short drop. He's in trouble. Lost the football. Vikings have it. Derek Alexander recovered the fumble on the hit on Favre. Favre is shaken up, shaking his right hand, and Derek Alexander celebrates the fumble recovery.
You must hit the quarterback, you must hit the quarterback, and you must hit him hard. They've been flirting, getting there. There's no place for Brett Favre to throw the football. The rush is good, but don't blame it on the rush. Don't blame it on the offensive line. He's got no place to throw the football. He's got a pocket. And that's what always happens in this game. John Randall, a guy that somehow, some way, always plays very well against the Packers, especially here on the turf.
Brad Johnson is in quarterback for Minnesota. Robert Smith runs the right side again. Reggie White back in there. Short gain. 3:50 to go in the 4th quarter.
Now look up, Reggie's back in, but also what I just saw on that play, and Brad Johnson's in the game. Leroy Butler, they brought him down and they stuck him right in that hole where Robert Smith just had that big run.
Warren Moon limping on the sideline noticeably, and Brad Johnson has gone in. Andrew Jordan in motion. Robert Smith, nothing there. 3:10 remaining in this 4th quarter. A lot of fans back in Green Bay holding their breath. I guess there was some promotion at the TV store that said if you buy the large screen TVs and the Packers win their first 6 games of the season, they'll be free. Well, yeah, it could go out the window unless the Packers can find a way to come back. 3rd down. Johnson throwing down the sideline for Qadry Ismail, incomplete. Doug Evans on the coverage, and he's had a strong game for the Packers.
When we talked to Brad Johnson, we said, what are you going to do? What is your thinking if you have to come into this game and it's a big game and the pressure's on? He said, the first thing I'm going to do is try to stay within the framework of the offense, but more importantly, not make the big mistake, not make the big turnover, not have the TJ Rubley type thing happen to him. And that time, he realized it would have been a tight fit. Smart thing, he kind of threw it away.
44-yard field goal attempt for Scott Sisson. He's made his last 7. This is his longest attempt of the season. And it's good.
Big field goal.
That is a huge one. Scott Sisson has not missed in the 4th quarter in his NFL career. He's 10 for 10 in 4th quarter field goals.
But the ugly thing about it, though, if you're Green Bay, if you're Minnesota, you still got that 1-point differential there.
That's right. 2:31 to go.
They score. They get 6. They'll be up by 1. Everything's got to be perfect in a pressure situation. You know, we're looking at it, it's super slow-mo, but don't forget, all this is happening in about 1.3 seconds. That's how fast that transition is, from the center to the holder to the time the kicker puts his foot on it.
Brett Favre and Mike Holmgren talking things over. Jim McMahon on the sideline. He knows what it's like to be in these games. 1993, he helped Minnesota beat Green Bay.
Boy, this
tees it up.
This is every bit as good as we hoped it would be and knew it would be.
That field goal by Scott Sissons was the longest of his career, 44-yarder. Vikings with a 27-21 lead. Berger kicks it. Coming down to Beebe at the 3. Looking for an opening. And he's brought down at about the 23, and a late flag goes flying in.
Well, look at the knockdowns. Those are hits. 15 hurries. The coverage has been pretty good, but that's heat up front.
And 6 sacks. Wow.
You know, 2:22 on the clock. Okay, there is time, yes. But Brett Favre is getting ready to go into an area he's never been
During
into.
the return, holding by the receiving team, number 51, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Brett Favre is getting ready to go into the comeback zone.
Well, we'll see.
He has very rarely been in situations where he's had to drive all the way down the field and put the ball in the end zone.
He's got to go from his own 13. Orlando Thomas waving the crowd on, urging the crowd to make some noise. Packers practiced indoors at the Hudson Center in Green Bay Friday with the sound speakers pumped up loud to deal with the noise. Favre being rushed.
There it is. They got
7
it again.
sacks. 7 sacks for the Minnesota Vikings. Derek Alexander. Ezra Tuaolo.
Watch how the Vikings use their hands up front on the defensive line. Look at Tuaolo. He comes with the rip. Alexander on the outside. Randall inside. It's relentless. It's a complete breakdown. They don't have the people to pick it up. They're bringing from the middle. They're bringing from the outside. You talk about people getting in gaps. That is penetration. That's textbook penetration.
Favre had been sacked only 3 times in the first 3 games. 7 times today. 2 minutes to go.
See here, it's just man beating man. That's Ezra Tuaolo. He used to be a Green Bay Packer. Watch what he does to Andy Timmerman. Adam Timmerman just completely whacks him back into the quarterback.
Second down for Green Bay and 14. Favre a short drop, fires to Beebe. And it's complete at the 16-yard line. Packers in the hurry-up offense. This is a big third down play. Clock running a minute 45 to go. Favre looking left, pumps, looking to go deep, goes right up the middle.
Fuller has to
man,
get there.
incomplete. Antonio Freeman had a step, 2 steps on Corey Fuller.
Boy, I'm starting to have thoughts of watch the inside receiver here. That's who he's trying to throw to. That's Freeman. Now, if he leads him up the field, see, Favre has been under so much pressure today. All he's got to do is throw it deep down the field. He's got Corey Fuller beat. There's no safety over the top. But they've been hammering him. They've been on him. And sooner or later, that takes something off a quarterback. In this case, it's taking off his judgment. He's not letting go of that ball in time. He's maybe getting a little bit less on the ball, and we saw it there.
And when this one ends, we're going to one of 2 games, either Dallas at Buffalo or Chicago at Detroit. The second half of our NFL on Fox doubleheader. Reggie White checking things out. 4th down, and the Packers will go for it with a minute 38 remaining.
I mean, this is the play. This is it for all intents and purposes for Green Bay. And Holmgren had to call that timeout. He didn't want any mistakes. He's got to make sure they give themselves the best possible chance.
2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers in for Green Bay. 4th and 8. Favre being rushed. It's incomplete. Was it intercepted? No. Referee, the official says no.
Doesn't matter.
But that's it. Nevertheless, the ball goes to Minnesota. Corey Fuller on the coverage. And what a job by the Minnesota defense.
I said it before. I'm almost getting tired of saying it, Sam, but it's so true. The pressure has been incredible. 93, John Randall, he'll be at the top. He's working inside. He beats everybody. Favre cannot throw and stand up and watch what happens. He's always getting them off the carpet. And that's a bad matchup. The corner is going to beat the tight end every single time.
Why is that?
Technique, speed, foot quickness. You see the way he reacted off the throw, he can make the drive.
Vikings looking to run out the clock. Packers have 2 timeouts remaining. Johnson goes to one knee and the Packers call time with 1:31 on the clock.
They have to stop it.
And once again, the Vikings in the 4th quarter, they have outscored Green Bay 10-0. The Minnesota Vikings have not started 4-0 since 1975.
That's not a good sign there. Mike Holmgren had the headphones off.
Well, unless something bizarre happens, this one will be over, and Mike Holmgren will continue to be frustrated here at the Metrodome.
Well, he kind of got upset this week, and he said, look, quell the Super Bowl chat. Let's keep focused. Let's keep our head on straight, because we got to go into Minnesota, and it's not been pretty there. And he's absolutely right. I think people thought that maybe he's being a little tough. You know, maybe he's starting to get a little tight, because he realizes he's got a shot. He's got the weapons. The team has been building for years to get to this point.
Brett Favre, 12 for 23 for 179 yards. Vikings did a great job on 2nd down. This time they run. Robert Smith swings wide, stays in bounds, gets knocked down, but holds on to the football.
They'll have to burn another one. They got to burn them all.
Packers call timeout.
They got to burn them all.
With 1:18 on the clock. The Vikings in the 4th quarter came from behind once again.
Tell you what, this was the difference right here. I mean, you talk about the blocks. Christie, Stringer, who's played well all day long, holding Reggie White out. Everybody's happy. The Vikings happy. I'll tell you who else is happy.
Yeah.
the store owner in Green Bay that had that television deal going on. Now he doesn't have to give away all those free TVs. He's sitting back there in the storeroom going, whew, that was close.
People looked at the Minnesota Vikings start and said, well, you know, what is this 3-0? What are the Vikings doing? But the Vikings looked at their schedule. They feel that they could go 5-2, 6-1. Who knows? After this game, maybe 7-0 into their bye week.
Well, it's like we talked about in the open. It was going to be the turnovers for both teams, getting the hits on Brett Favre, and Green Bay had to get off to a quick start and run and hide. They didn't do that. They didn't start quick.
Smith
better get himself on the ground.
Wrestled down at the 15-yard line.
It's everything we talked about, Sam. Green Bay up to this point has started off red hot. I mean, the game is basically over once the middle of the 3rd quarter has come around.
Well,
and I think here, well, you know, you got
a field goal here.
Well, first thing they're going to do is let it go down and take the delay of game. That's number one, because you want to burn as much as you can.
Or they can call a timeout with 1 second.
Now, they're going to take the delay, then come back and try to kick the field goal.
There is the delay of game.
That's their first
and there it is.
Oh, they call timeout.
Right, okay, they do the timeout. Yeah.
So now, Scott Sisson will come on again with 31 seconds left and try to put this game out of reach point-wise. The Vikings have to hope for a miracle play here. A block, or maybe the Packers, rather, excuse me, have to look for a block.
Well, I think that says it all right there. But you know, too, Sam, it's one game. And maybe this is good for Green Bay didn't play bad. They made some big turnovers. I mean, they got some big turnovers when they needed them. They had trouble with the rush, but they've always had trouble with the rush. And they knew Brett was going to get attacked, and this is huge here. They need to put this one through.
This will be
no miscues.
33 yards away, and they're offside. Offside Green Bay. The kick is through. Denny Green says decline it.
That's it.
Keep the points on the board.
That's a penalty.
It's a 9-point Minnesota lead. It's 30-21.
Offside of the defense, number 42. The penalty is declined. Touchdown.
The Minnesota Vikings.
He said touchdown. I think Sam, he meant
field goal.
Field goal. Okay, now I may be wrong. That's a big man jumping up and down there, Corey Stringer.
Well, there you see it. In 28 seconds, this will be the official standings. Minnesota will go 4-0. They'll have a 5-game winning streak over the Packers here in the Metrodome. They'll have a 6-game home field winning streak here in the Metrodome overall. The Vikings are a team built for turf with a lot of speed. Speed on offense, speed on defense.
That was the knock on John Randall. They said that John Randall wasn't very good outside on the grass because he's a real tight, torquey kind of guy. He likes to wrestle a lot inside. That's why he gives people so much trouble in the dome on the turf, because he can get down there, he's got traction, he's got leverage, and he can fight it out. But it wasn't just Randall. I'll tell you, the defensive ends for the Minnesota Vikings stepped it up today.
Well, now where do you put Minnesota in the overall picture of the NFC?
You got to put them where they came in before. They were 3-0. They were undefeated before. Now they're undefeated still. And with their schedule, they got an awful good chance of going undefeated before the bye in 3 weeks.
No return on this one as Mitch Berger boomed it through. 28 seconds remaining.
And Green Bay, when you look at their schedule, this is just the beginning of what could be a tough road. They have Seattle, in Seattle next week. Then they come back with a huge Monday nighter in Green Bay against San Francisco.
Oh, they've got to play Chicago.
Chicago. Then the huge Monday nighter against San Francisco.
Packers have to play 2 3-game road trips.
Right.
2 trips where they play 3 in a row on the road. And this is the start of the first of those 2 groups. Quick pitch to Antonio Freeman. He's upended by Harlan Barnett. The clock winding down. And the Minnesota Vikings putting away the Green Bay Packers. This one is for Brooks, incomplete with 10 seconds to go. Don't forget, the second game of our doubleheader is coming up. Some of you will see the Cowboys and the Bills, and others will see the Bears and the Lions. Mike Holmgren, 0-5 in the Metrodome, 4-9 indoors, and 4-16 on turf. Favre's pass incomplete to Robert Brooks. 8 seconds remaining. And Robert Smith with the big run. He ran for 83 yards in the game, but the big one was the 37-yarder to bring the Vikings back. And once again, and now the Vikings in the fourth quarter have outscored opponents 39-3 this season. That says something for this team.
Absolutely. They are strong when they need to be in the fourth. And once again, Green Bay wasn't used to having to play that much this late in the game.
Quick to Freeman. And he is knocked down by Robert Griffin. Hard, and that's it. The Minnesota Vikings have handed the Green Bay Packers their first loss. while remaining undefeated there. 4-0 for Ron Pitts. This is Sam Rosen saying so long from the Metrodome, where the Vikings have beaten the Packers 30-21. Fox Sports coverage of the National Football League continues after this message from your local Fox station. It's the second game of our Fox doubleheader. Thanks for being with us. So long, everyone.